We're happy that you are joining us, and we look forward to showing you the highest quality artwork in the television market today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Fine Art Auction. But first, the rules. All bidders must be registered, and if you're going to bid, make sure you know all the rules. First of all, there is a 10% buyer's premium added to each winning bid. Bidders will be responsible for shipping. All works are guaranteed to be as described, or you don't own it, and you may return it to us for a full and prompt refund. If for any other reason you decide to return your purchase, you may do so for up to 7 days after receipt. But in this case, the buyer's premium and shipping are non-refundable. It is mandatory that you obtain a RMA number for all returns. To obtain this number, simply call customer service during normal business hours. All artwork must be received back to us in exactly the same condition as when it was shipped. Please visit the shopabc.com website for a full list of terms and conditions that apply to all of our auctions. And now, from our studios in Atlanta, it's the Fine Art Auction. We've got works from the masters, the latest up-and-coming street art, and Richard's featured work. From Atlanta to Los Angeles to New York, it's the Fine Art Auction, live!
Well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Hope you're all well. And thank you very, very much for joining us and allowing us in your wonderful homes right across the United States. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to you live from our studios here in Atlanta, Georgia, and some fantastic artwork lined up for you today. Let me give you a quick rundown. We're going to kick off with an artist that maybe some of you aren't familiar with. His name is Carl Stryker, very famous British artist, so we're going to start with him in a few moments. Then we have a legendary French artist called Guy Buffet, a bit like 24-Hour Buffet, and to be honest with you, he does actually feature artwork generally in Parisian restaurants, you know, the brasseries in Paris, that kind of thing. So he's very famous for those. And what we have is an extraordinary piece, a very, very large work of art. So you will need a good space for it if you have it. Then lot 4, we also have another French artist, Louis Icart. Louis Icart was one of the most famous illustrators of the 20th century. He will be coming up directly after that. And then we have a very, very talented artist called Mad Charcoal. Mad Charcoal, as it sounds, he works with charcoal. So, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful artist called Mad Charcoal. Then we have a legendary artist called Fernando Botero. Fernando Botero was from Colombia, and he's very famous for his rotund ladies and in his paintings, but also animals and that kind of thing in his sculpture. So we've got a sculpture coming up for you, beautiful bronze sculpture, very heavy on a marble base by the late, great Fernando Botero. Then we're going again to Colombia for another famous artist called Pedro Ortiz Munoz, and his works are very sort of magical, very mystical pieces, and his artwork is known as steampunk. Unusual name, but you'll see what it's all about a little bit later. Then we have an absolutely amazing work of art called by Rembrandt, and it is Christ crucified between two thieves. So, ladies and gentlemen, an amazing lifetime Rembrandt somewhere. I think there are auction results somewhere in the region of 100,000 for these types of work. But again, everything will be selling to the highest bidder here today, ladies and gentlemen. So some amazing pieces, some amazing opportunities, and we literally span about 5 centuries of artwork on our show. Then we're going to end the show with these amazing works. It's a debut in our show, in our auctions, for Nelson de la Nuez and ladies and gentlemen, they're just absolutely spectacular pieces. If you've got the right home and the right space for these, they're original paintings, and ladies and gentlemen, they are extraordinarily valuable, very, very collectible work by Nelson de la Nuez, who was a Cuban-American artist. So, ladies and gentlemen, some great variety of pieces from Rembrandt all the way up to these wonderful pieces from the 20th century. And ladies and gentlemen, here to tell you all about every single piece will, of course, be Lucy. But let me just remind you, it is a live auction. If you can get yourself registered now, 866-518-5933. Call in to register now. Red banner, you've got that all there. So please do call the toll-free number. Get yourself registered now, because a lot of people last week and the week before, we were extremely busy, and some of you unfortunately missed out on pieces you were really interested in because you couldn't get through, maybe you weren't registered, etc. So get yourself registered now. It's free to do it. We've got about 10 minutes before I bring down the hammer on the first lot. So do it now, 866-518-5933. Everything will come framed for you. Everything comes certified. You get a certificate of authenticity. It's valuable. Keep the paperwork with the artwork. It's not just for decoration, ladies and gentlemen. These have actually, you know, some very powerful and amazing documentation behind them, particularly for things like the Rembrandt. If you ever own a Rembrandt and you want to bring it to my auction in London or in New York, I would ask you for documentation and verification that it is an original. So this verifies everything. It comes free of charge. The framing comes free of charge. All you've got to do is get yourself registered now, 866-518-5933. If you've never done it before, ladies and gentlemen, it only takes 45 seconds with the guys. An amazing phone team led by Kim here, and ladies and gentlemen, they're all here to assist you and look after you throughout the auction. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's show you the first lot, and this is by the wonderful Karl Stryker, and it's called Gucci Gagarin, named after the famous cosmonaut. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a hand-signed work and a limited edition, and we're going to start the auction off at only $100 just to get you all on the phone. So, ladies and gentlemen, $100 kicks off the auction. Here's Lucy, and good morning, Miss Lucy.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, America. What a spectacular lineup we have for you this morning. So do get yourself registered. Make sure you stay to the end, because those originals, those de la Nuez, are exclusive to us. You would ordinarily be on a wait list for them. So make sure you stay right till the end. But we really do have something for everyone. So without further ado, let's start with the Karl Strykers. Now, what I say every single weekend, and it's really important for everyone to hear this, you don't need to know anything about art to watch this show, go into a gallery, go to a museum, start collecting art. You just need to know what you love, and the knowledge will follow. That's exactly what happened to me about 20 years ago. So please do not think and don't believe that myth. So straight away, let's talk about Karl Stryker. Karl Stryker is a British artist, and he is really following in the footsteps of the very famous Banksy and becoming quite famous himself. He is one of those artists who has decided he is going to keep his identity secret, and he says it's because, you know, it means he can get into these environments without anyone noticing him and start creating his art. Like every single street artist, he built his following first with his own character. He's a character-based street artist, and once he established himself, he was able to then move into different areas. What we're seeing here is very much Karl Stryker. It's very much the street aesthetic we're all looking for. And, you know, you've got that stencil aesthetic. And he is so clever, like many street artists. As Richard alluded to, this was the first human in space, Yuri Gagarin. He is a symbol of one of humanity's greatest achievements, and the title, Gucci Gagarin, almost certainly references him. Of course it does. And then Gucci, one of the most recognizable luxury brands representing status, wealth, aspiration, consumer culture. So by combining them, and this is what street artists do, he's inviting you to start a conversation, you know, and what is he trying to say? But it doesn't matter. You can just take it at face value. Remember, you can just love a piece of artwork. You don't need to find any meaning within it. Let's go to my screen. So Carl Stryker, like Banksy, he started off building up his reputation. And we know that Banksy is very well known for Girl with Balloon, Heart Balloon, and that was his launching pad. For Carl Stryker, his launching pad was Shaun the Sheep, and he started building a following, and this sort of character would spring up all over the United Kingdom until he started then branching out into different subjects and becoming really iconic with the stencils he was doing. Now remember, stencils are incredibly difficult to cut. They're really intricate, and this is a multi-layered stencil piece, so is the work that you're bidding on at the moment. But nobody knows who he is. What he does, he gets in and he gets out quickly, and he creates these wonderful works of art. Now, I would not be doing my job correctly if I didn't show you what happened with Banksy, and he's paved the way. Nobody anticipated in the early 2000s that street art was going to take off like it did, and we're now in a situation in the 21st century where we're in the middle of it. It is the genre for our generation. So we have here a Banksy selling at $385. A few years later, that same work sold for $23,000. And you think that's a lot. A few years later, $82,500. Who wishes they could go back in time right now? I know I do. So this really is your moment, because Carl Stryker is one of those artists who is part of the street movement of the 21st century that people are taking notice of. People are writing about, people are wondering who this artist is, posting about him. And I find this interesting too. He is not your stereotypical street artist. This is what inspired him. It was a masterpiece that he saw as a child in his local museum that was created in 1650. He was mesmerized by the light that was captured within this painting, and that set him off out onto the streets. I love that story. And you can see he's created some really wonderful works out in the street. Loves Snoopy and Woodstock and all of those great artists. But let's go back over to Richard and see what's happening in the studio. Good morning, Richard.
Thank you very much, Lucy. You're sounding wonderful, my dear. Ladies and gentlemen, and she looks lovely as well, doesn't she? It reminds me of a beautiful, what are those vases they have in England? Beautiful, old, wonderful in that blue and white. Fantastic. Anyway, you're looking lovely, my dear. Lot number one, this is the Carl Stryker. Now, John has just mentioned that if you have not registered for the auction ever before, there is a free gift for you today. All you got to do is call in now to get yourself registered, and there's a free gift. A free gift. So all you got to do is call in and register. That's if you've never registered before. And ladies and gentlemen, so just call in to register, and you will receive a free gift. And it's not a trick, it's not a sales ploy, it's just a genuine thing to help you get registered and help you get started in the auction. So get yourself registered, get yourself on the phone. Call them now before I sell this first lot, and there will be a free gift for everyone who registers for the first time at the auction. Can't be fairer than that, ladies and gentlemen, so that will save you a lot of time if you see something you really love like this. It's only $100 at the moment. There's been no bids so far. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gucci Gagarin. Get on the phone. There's a free gift if you've never registered before. Ladies and gentlemen, original screen print in colour on 100% cotton paper. It is hand signed by the artist on the lower right, numbered on the lower left, and it is a limited edition. Ladies and gentlemen, so bear in mind this is hand signed and a limited edition of only 200. Now, John, I'm going to put up a 3-minute clock. A 3-minute clock goes up on this one, and ladies and gentlemen, if you've not placed a bid in the next 2 minutes, so you can register you can see what your free gift is. And if you want to, you can have a bid on this. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there are no bids by the time I reach 1 minute, John, would you mind bringing in the next lot? This is the world-famous cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, created by Carl Stryker, and he's turned him into Gucci Gagarin. Ladies and gentlemen, hand sign work. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's on sale and with you. And this we've received one bid, and thank you, John, for that. We have one bid on it. Looks like another bid's just come in, and ladies and gentlemen, we're about to sell this. So let's get on the phone. Here's Lucy, and Lucy, it's over to you.
Yeah, now everyone who is on the phone currently or getting yourself registered with that wonderful free gift, this is definitely going to make you pick up the phone, I think, because if you wait till tomorrow and you pass up on this opportunity right now, and I can see lots of you phoning in, you are going to be so happy. Let's have a look at my screen. Because if you wait till tomorrow, you're going to have to spend $2,500 on this work. Here is this same print for sale by Carl Stryker at $2,500. You're at a tenth at $250 currently, now $275 with the frame. I don't even know whether this is framed, this particular one. So $2,500, okay? His original sell for $35,000, some of the larger works. So that's where he's sitting within the contemporary art world. And if we come back to our piece, let's talk about street art. Street art is the heartbeat of modern collecting. It's really what you see everywhere you go now. And in any gallery, you will see works like this with this modern street aesthetic. This is a multi-layer stencil here. So those stencils he's cut individually, really difficult to do. And really what I think he's trying to say here is that the luxury brand has become the new status symbol. I mean, this cosmonaut, he became famous because of what he achieved, but maybe Stryker's trying to say that status is often now communicated not through achievement but through brands. You know, who knows? It's about starting conversations, and the astronaut's helmet almost becomes a luxury accessory. And then, of course, exploration has changed as well. The first space race was about science, discovery, and national pride. Today's space race increasingly involves billionaires and commercial branding. So a Gucci astronaut feels like someone exploring not just space, but the consumer culture itself. So it's really relevant in the 21st century. He's brought it up to date into the 21st century. It's what we're looking for. Now, let's remind ourselves, let's go back to the screen. You're only at 400. This is for sale at $2,500. Which would you rather, everyone? Waking up tomorrow morning regretting and having to spend $2,500, or picking up the phone now and spending $400? Let's come back to our work. I know which one I'd prefer. And remember, you are acquiring a work of art that you love, but also you can be reassured knowing you're buying into a category that has never been in more demand. Street art is what everybody wants. Street, influence art, pop cultural, infused themes, these bold contemporary visuals. This is where the market is moving, and Carl Stryker is right there in the middle of it. And that's what everybody loves about Carl Stryker. He has this incredible aesthetic, and he's really clever with his imagery as well. He's aligned with the global trend at the moment, which of course is the street art influenced vibe. So collectors today, we know they want artwork that feels modern and culturally alive. And this is exactly what we're looking at right now, isn't it? Let's go back to Richard and see what's happening. Over to you.
Well, I decided to go absolutely crazy this morning. We got a bit of 600 with Darren. 600. I'll tell you what, Darren, I got a big surprise for you, because I'm going to stop the auction there at 600. You've got it at 600 plus the buyer's premium. But Darren, good morning. Stay on the phone, because I've got a big surprise for you. I've got 3 of these, John, and I had 3 of the next one. But I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to give it completely free of charge, and I'm going to do it as a gift. And I'm not going to show it to you for a second, ladies and gentlemen. So you've got to get on the phone, and then I'm going to turn it around, and you'll see what I've given you completely free of charge. It's hand signed by this artist. It's a beautiful piece. And I want to give you a clue, but it'd be too much. It'd be too much. Get on the phone. It's going to be completely free of charge with this piece. 600. You've got one, Darren. There are 3 more available, and you're going to get the pair. You're going to get the pair. 600 plus the buyer's premium. Plus the buyer's premium. Call in now, Lucy. I'm going to turn it around in a second, but everyone, you've got to get on the phone. There are 3 pairs available. I'm giving you the second one as a gift, and if you love dancing like Lucy, particularly after a glass of champagne, then this will be the one for you. Here's Lucy.
You're so bad, Richard English. Okay, so let's go to my screen and let's maybe give some hints here as to what I think the second work is going to be. Maybe. Who is this artist? We don't know. Who is Carl Stryker? He's written about, though. That is telling us a lot. We know what happened to Banksy. And, you know, these artists who follow in the footsteps of Banksy are on that same trajectory. It's, you know, and this is a really good example here, actually. This is a work by Carl Stryker. It appeared on the streets, and then business owners get very excited because it drives business into those cities. There was one other thing I wanted to show you as well. Let's see. I love that he is often talked about as well on X. And again, no one knows who he is. But he is being posted, and this is what has driven the street art movement to what it is in the modern day. It's all about us. And remind yourself, 2,500 there. You are getting 2. Let's go back to Richard.
Okay, well, someone said they're hanging on the phone. They want to see what the second one is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I can tell you is, Lucy, if you could let me know the price on these in galleries now. That, again, is a limited edition. It's the beautiful ballerina hand sign. I'm giving it as a gift with the Gucci Gagarin. That piece alone, Lucy, I do believe that's still in the region of 2,500. So you're looking at a pair for about $5,000 in the gallery now. Ladies and gentlemen, I've given that completely free of charge. I had Darren's bidder at 600 on this. This is going free of charge. I've got 3 pairs available. Come on, get on the phone very, very quickly. Who's going to take them? You're getting the pair at only 600 plus the buyer's premium. Here's Lucy. Lucy, what do you think of that? What a beautiful piece.
Yeah, so I was right, everyone. Let's go back to my screen. Yeah, you're right, Richard, 2,200. Don't even know whether it's actually available anymore. This is a very popular one by Carl Stryker, but that's exactly what the retail price is on it. You've got $600 here for the pair. Let's come back to our screen. I don't know how we do this, ladies and gentlemen, but that's not for you to worry about. It's for you to take advantage of. And the ballerina I particularly enjoy because it's a really powerful contrast here, you know. A ballerina, and this is what street artists do. It's all about starting a conversation. A ballerina traditionally represents grace, beauty, and classical refinement. And the spray can symbolize rebellion, urban culture, and creative freedom. So putting the two together is suggesting that street art can be both elegant and disruptive, that beauty isn't confined to galleries or tradition, but can flourish on the city walls as well, or wherever it's created. And also, I think, too, it shows that these street artists are very nimble, aren't they? They have to be quick on their feet, they have to be nimble, they have to get in and get out before they get arrested, because street art is still considered vandalism and you can get arrested, which is how it came to be, because it meant that the street artists could cut their stencils in their studio, get it all ready, identify where they wanted to put their art on the street, go to that location, take out their street art stencils, paste them on the wall, take them up, spray over them, take one down, put the other one on, because this one you can see is definitely multi-stenciled, and spray and get in and get out really quickly. So this is what it's all about. I am very excited for this offer. Everybody, you really need to be excited. You're saving yourself so much money. Let's go back to Richard.
Lucy, well, amazingly, there's still one pair available. I've given you the second one completely free of charge. Ladies and gentlemen, they're $2,500 each in galleries. I've given you the pair for only $600. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got the Gucci Gagarin. I had 600 bid on this one alone. On this one alone, that was with Darren's bidder. I've given you this one free of charge. There's one pair available. Who's going to take the last pair? Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to move on. John, let's get ready with the next lot, please. And it is an amazing work of art. Now, you will need a tremendous space in, I would suggest, maybe your dining area or something like that. But it's up to you where you put it. But John, let's leave the ballerina next to that one, because I want to show a little sort of size comparison ploy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you, I always say ploy when it's a French artist, because it reminds me of Peter Sellers in the Pink Panther, the size comparison ploy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at this one. And it is an amazing work of art. And it is by the wonderful Guy Boffet. Guy Boffet, world famous artist, ladies and gentlemen, born in France in 1943. And ladies and gentlemen, that is an original serigraph in colour on woven paper. And John, we can take away the little ballerina now. Thank you very, very much. I just wanted to show you the size of this piece. It is enormous, enormous work of art, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to slide it into position there. And that is hand signed. And ladies and gentlemen, a limited edition, a huge piece. The frame alone on this is about, I would say, somewhere between $1,500 and $1,800. Would you say that's fair? That's fair. About $1,500 to $1,800 to frame it like that. That is the top Italian framing now, ladies and gentlemen. That is beautifully framed. Our framer does an amazing job. And ladies and gentlemen, this is here to be sold. I'm going to start it at only $500. I will sell it to the highest bidder. Hand signed by the world famous Guy Boffet. It starts at $500. Here is our wonderful Lucy with Afternoon at Saint-Germain in Paris, which she's been there many times, haven't you, my dear?
I have. I love Saint-Germain. I love Paris. And I really do adore this artist as well. And sadly, he passed away a couple of years ago. And, you know, he really is an artist who believed that art should make you smile. And that's exactly what his art does. I'm sure many of our viewers have seen Guy Boffet's around the world. He is one of those internationally known artists, and his imagery is very well known and incredibly sought after. Because he wasn't interested in painting misery or darkness. He wanted every painting to be an invitation into a world of joy, humour and imagination. So I think this one is almost a take on works by Renoir and Manet and Monet, and he's created his own interpretation with these wonderful waiters. He's known for his waiters. I love him, and I think this is truly one of those pieces of art that you will enjoy and adore every single day of your life. It is a huge work, so go and measure up. Where is it going to be put? But he was born in Paris in 1943. He passed away in 2023 in Corsica when he was visiting there. And he grew up surrounded by artistic history. He loved Picasso, he loved Chagall. And as a teenager, he studied at the prestigious Beaux-Arts School, and then he served as an official artist for the French Navy. That role eventually took him to Hawaii, and that really is a place that would become his second home and a huge source of inspiration. And he developed this style, which is instantly recognizable. His paintings are full of these wonderfully exaggerated characters, these bustling cafes, these waiters, musicians, chefs, wine lovers. Look at, I love, and my favourite champagne that waiter's holding there, Richard, all captured with warmth and wit and that unmistakable French charm. And his work is just celebrating life's simple pleasures. I look at it, it's just so gorgeous, it's glorious. Good food, good company, and the joy of living. And his collectors, so you're going to be one of those watching this morning, they fall in love with the fact that his paintings simply make people feel happy. They make you feel smile, they make you feel uplifted, they're really theatrical. You know, it's quite a lot of theatre going on, and they have that rare ability to make you notice something new. Every time you look at them, you'll find something different within it. And if I take you to my screen, let's just have a look at him. And Richard absolutely is right too. He's very much known for his works in lots of Parisian cafes. He was the artist that everybody went to if they wanted something wonderful done for the interior of their their establishment. There he is, you know, meeting some quite impressive people, and this was his style. And you've probably seen his works as well in various different, I would say, ways. You know, he did have a line of sort of homeware things as well, because that's how popular he became. Loved the golfing tribe too, and skiers. So let's come back to our work. Truly, this is just, you can feel that I am enjoying his works. They just make me smile. And that's what will happen when you hang this in your home. I really like the way we framed it too. That frame is, I would imagine, about $1,000 frame on it. So it sort of keeps with that sort of traditional feel, but also brings it into the 21st century and the modern edge that Guy Buffet was able to achieve. And I think too that some artists paint what they see, but Buffet, he painted how he wanted the world to feel. And that was full of laughter, warmth, and this wonderful feeling of being alive. Let's go back to Richard.
Okay, John, let's bring up all the lights on this fantastic piece. That is an enormous work of art, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you got a beautiful high ceiling for this one. It's a really, really spectacular piece. The frame alone, as I said, is probably $1,500 to $1,800 just to frame it, and that's go and test the market. Go to a local framer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put up a 3-minute clock. When the clock runs out, I'm going to sell this. So get on the phone now. Don't forget, if you're registering for the first time, you can call in now. There's a free gift for you just to say welcome to the fine art auction. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Guy Buffet, the French artist born in 1943. Afternoon at Saint-Germain in Paris. And ladies and gentlemen, it's an original serigraph in colour. In fact, my sister's there today. I haven't been to Paris since 1990. Original serigraph in colour on woven paper. Hand signed by the legendary late great artist, and ladies and gentlemen, it's numbered by the artist in the lower margin. I am going to sell this. $750 is the top bid. Where are they from, please, John? At $750. Massachusetts. Good morning, and thank you for your bid. And ladies and gentlemen, it's an example of a limited edition, and ladies and gentlemen, it will be selling. So don't forget, the artist is no longer with us. He has sadly departed. But what happens to an artist once they've left us? Their artwork. Obviously, there's no further production. What does that mean? Slowly, everything gets sold, and so there is nothing available, brand new to the market. So everything that has already been produced by the artist starts to go up and up in value because there is no further production. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is by a legendary French artist. It's hand signed. The frame alone, I'll tell you what, if you didn't like the image, I would just get it for the frame and put something else in it, maybe a lovely picture of your mother-in-law, whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a hand signed piece, and that framing on there is magnificent, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to sell, so you've got about a minute to get on the phone. Last chance, last call. Final call for bids. Here's Lucy. 1 minute only.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been looking, and you can all do the same. If you go and look online, you will see some incredible photos with him and some of the things that he's done, you know, in his lifetime. I'm just like, let's go to my screen right now, you know, like these inspirations that he took, you know, his favorite waiter. There's just so much to see, you know, go and have a look. I mean, this is a very special artist indeed. And, you know, let's go back to our piece, actually. Books written about him as well. But he is, I think, one of those artists who has left this legacy behind. And he is one of those artists that really has created works of art that are timeless. These are works that are just going to sit in your home and you will enjoy for so many years to come. And also do think about perhaps giving this as a gift, because these are really good gifts, because the perceived value is so much more than the $750 that you are spending right now to acquire this work of art. And he did a lot of collaborations too. So when we talk about this artist, we can really talk about the different collaborations, particularly with the champagne brands, but we haven't got any time. Let's go back to Richard.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. It's selling now at $750. That is remarkable, remarkable. This should be selling in the auction, John, I think somewhere around 5,500 to 6,000 for the quality of the piece and the fact that he is no longer with us. So 5,500 to 6,000, I think is a fair guide price. Would you say I'm out of line there? No? So 5,500 to 6,000, a fair guide price. Final call for bids then, $750. It's still Massachusetts, and it will be selling now at $750. Is there anyone else, yes or no? $750, $750, $750, 800 bid, 800 bid, 800 bid, another 50 to move on. 800 bid, 800 bid, is there another 50? New bidder now. 800 bid, 800 bid, is there another 50 to more? 800 with Virginia. Massachusetts, do you want 50? 800, you want 50? 850, yes! 850 bid, 850, come on, I'll take 9. 850 and it's selling and going. 850, is there another 50? Is there one more? Yes or no? 850, 850, 9 bid. At 9, get a bit of 9, 9 bid. At 9, get a bit of 9 and it's selling now. At 9, get a bit of 9 and it's on sale with your last chance, last call. At 900 bid. Are you out? Thanks for letting me know. At 900 it goes then back with Massachusetts. The hammer's high. Sold and gone at 900. Now, John, were we lucky enough to get one more of these from the estate?
That's correct.
There's one more from the estate, hand signed. I'll do it at the same price. 900, you got it, Karen. Thank you. 900 plus the buyer's premium to Massachusetts. There's one more available. Red banner, one more available. Lucy, I'll give you literally 1 minute. I think that's a fantastic deal. 900 plus the buyer's premium. Get on the phone if you want that last one. Here's Lucy, one from the estate. Here's Lucy.
It's a remarkable deal, I would say. Let's go back to my screen. Look, here he is in front of one of his murals as well. So Richard was talking about this, and this was commissioned by Mimi's Cafe in California. So I don't know, maybe you've seen it, but this is what will have happened. You will have seen Guy Buffet's work, whether you realise it or not. Let's come back to our piece, because that is how famous he was. And the reason why people in restaurants and bars and cafes wanted his works was because he created these really warm, nostalgic, fun works of art, you know, that captivated people and made them want to stay, made them want to come back to those restaurants and bars. Do you understand? You know, and this is what he was so talented at. It was really creating, as I've said, you know, how he wanted you to feel. He wanted you to feel uplifted and warm and sort of happy to be there. And that's exactly what he achieved, particularly, I think, with this one as well. Back to you, Richard.
Okay, well, later on, I think it's still available, but you have to be quick if you want it. Get on the phone. There's one available. Come to me. Thank you very much. Let's move on with the show. And later on, we've got a lot to get through, so I'm going to move on with the next artist. This is a true collector's piece. What's coming up next is called Femme à la cage à oiseaux, and that's easy for me to say. Ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful piece. This is from 1924. It's an original etching with aquatine, and it's by the world-famous Louis Icart. Louis Icart, there are books written about him. He was the most famous illustrator in the world at the time, and he came from France. He was born in 1890. He died in 1950. This is from, wow. John, I didn't realize this is an artist proof. Eprouve d'artiste, executed by Icart in Paris in 1924. Lucy, I don't know if you knew that information, but I'm telling you now, this is an incredibly rare 102-year-old work. Not only is it hand-signed by Louis Icart, let's zoom in on the actual signature, then let's see the image after. Ladies and gentlemen, so the beautiful image, Femme à la cage oiseau, and it is hand-signed by him with the annotation on the left-hand side, which clearly states Eprouve d'artiste. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you've heard of artist proof. Well, that is the proof that it's written in French, Eprouve d'artiste. So the actual artist proof. Now, in those days, John, they would have only done one of these. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So in 102 years ago, when this was created, only one artist proof was made, and this is it. This is a true collector's piece. It's lot number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to acquire something incredibly valuable, incredibly beautiful, his work, I've got to say, this one is a beautiful, what I call a delicate image, very feminine, beautiful piece, ladies and gentlemen. And there is the lady with the bird in a cage, cage à oiseau, and this is just incredible. Now, in the 40 years I've been doing auctions, I know I don't look old enough, but in the 40 years I've been doing auctions, I've never, ever, Lucy, had an artist proof by this artist. I've had his works over the years, but to have a hand-signed piece, 102 years old, please, Red Banner, 102-year-old original hand-signed work, 102-year-old work from 1924. This is in magnificent condition. Ladies and gentlemen, I would say that in a regular auction around the world, there are specialist collectors just of his work. He was a world-famous illustrator. I would say a fair guide price for this, John, somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000. Would you say that's fair?
That is fair.
$12,000 to $15,000. I'm going to give you a chance to own it. I'm going to bring it under $5,000 just to start it. Let's kick off the auction. Let's have a bit of fun. Let's get you on the phone. I'll start it at only $2,000 on that magnificent hand-signed artist proof by the wonderful Louis Icart. Here's Lucy.
Yeah, this is a really significant work, everybody, and I had clocked that it was an artist proof, and like Richard, I've never been able to present one to anyone before, so this truly is special. And we are travelling back now in time to the golden age of Paris. So it's wonderful that we had Guy Buffet, who was really demonstrating 21st century Paris. And now we're going back in time to really one of the most celebrated artists of the Art Deco movement, who is Louis Icart. And what is particularly exciting about this work is that it isn't a later reproduction or a decorative print. It is an original etching with aquatint executed by Louis Icart himself in 1924. And then on top of that, it's an artist proof. And these proofs were traditionally pulled before the numbered edition and reserved by the artists themselves, making them really desirable to collectors because they represent some of the earliest and most carefully supervised impressions from the plate. Now remember, this is created on a copper plate. And as the printing continues and the plate continues to be used, it becomes worn out. And so the image will become more and more faded, not so clear and not so beautifully etched as we see here. So this truly is what everybody wants. They want exactly what you have the ability to bid on right now. It's gorgeous, this, absolutely incredible. And what made Icart so distinctive was his ability to combine this extraordinary technical skill that we see here with this effortless charm. His etchings are instantly recognizable for their graceful women. So this is what we want in a work by Icart, these flowing lines, exquisite fashion. He was all about fashion. He loved fashion. He married a model, and this subtle humor as well. And they really celebrate beauty, romance, and the fashionable lifestyle of the Belle Epoque, which was the high time of Paris and Art Deco in France. Let's go to my screen. Let's just have a look because I want to show you some prices. So look, Rich has been really conservative, and you know, we've got 29,000 there, 27,000, 27,000, 27,000. One here, very similar to the piece, 29,000 with buyer's premium, 37,000. Look at that, etchings, aquatint in colours on wove paper, published by the artist, but not an artist proof, everyone. So we really do have something incredibly special for you. And I hope I'm doing my job properly here and really conveying how incredible it is. And this is what he was all about. Now, the other interesting thing about Icart, he was at the cusp of that moment when, let's come back to our work, when really women up until this point had sort of been, they were in that sort of lace cotton buckles and high necklines, and then his works reflect those changes because the fashion changed, and this is what he was demonstrating. This is why I really love him, and I know many people really will agree with me here. He was the artist who was able to capture the moment in Paris when women really started to become much more feminine and just enjoying their femininity and their sexuality and exploring that. So it's a fantastic work. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Well, we've got bids coming in at 3.5. That was a little power bid I just saw there. Where was that from, please, John? Florida. Florida, good morning. Thank you very much. We have the original etching with Aquatint. Thank you for your bid there. 3,500 is the bid. Femme à la cage à oiseau, so the woman with the bird in the cage, and it is an original etching. Created 102 years ago in 1924. Original etching with Aquatint, printed in colour on woven paper, hand signed by the artist and numbered in the lower margin. It is from the approved artiste, so artist proof, executed by Icart in Paris in 1924. This is extremely, extremely rare. I gave you a very conservative auction valuation, 12 to 15,000. They are known to sell for a lot more, $25,000, $30,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're probably at about 10% of what this could achieve in an international auction. If it made 35,000, I would not be surprised. If it made 35,000, I would not be surprised in an auction, because it is, as I say, the first in 40 years I've ever had an actual artist proof. It's the only one in the world. You will not find another for sale anywhere in the world, ladies and gentlemen. It has all sorts of annotations up here as well. In the top left-hand corner, you can see that very, very fine, beautiful French script there. And ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely magnificent quality. 102 years of age, and I'm going to sell it. I'll give you literally a 2-minute clock now with Lucy. So let's call it the final call for bids. We're in at 3.6, and here is Lucy. 2-minute clock, and we're selling.
Yeah, and you know, and this work was really done when he was just becoming incredibly famous. Interestingly, he fought in World War I. He was drafted into the war and he became a pilot flying combat missions, and he would sketch constantly whilst he was in the military to stem his anguish, you know, and to relieve the stress almost. And then after the war, he moved to New York City, and this was in the 1920s, where he became known for these Art Deco etchings of glamorous women. So here we have it. This is what you're bidding on. And then by the late 1920s, he was working for publications, major fashion houses. He was designing. He was very successful, both artistically and financially, both in America and in France. And this, at that time, was really quite unheard of. You know, this is really how incredibly famous he became. He was an expert craftsman. He aimed for perfection, and his etchings reflect that. They are perfection. Look at that composition. And this is all done on a copper plate, and the artist has to have this incredible insight and creative ability to be able to understand that when this work is printed, it's going to be printed in the reverse. And the reason why collectors come back time and time again for an Icart is because his work really sits at that wonderful crossroads between fine art and timeless interior design. These works that you're bidding on right now, they hang in private collections all over the world, and they continue to really to attract collectors who appreciate their enduring elegance. And they really are beautiful works of art. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you very much, and we bid 3.8 with New York at 38 bid. 38 is bid with New York now at 38, and I'm about to sell, ladies and gentlemen. It's the final call for bids. At 38, get a bid of 3.8, 3.8 bid. At 3,800 bid. 39 with Ty. At 39, I'm bid. At 39, get a bid of 3.9 with Minnesota. It's Ty's bid. At 39, 39, and I'm selling. At 39, get a bid of 3.9, 3.9, 3.9 bid. At 3.9, take 4. At 39, New York, would you like 4? 39, I'm selling. Last chance, last call, everyone. Bear in mind, let's just go back to Lucy for 30 seconds only. I want you to see the auction results one more time, if you don't mind, Lucy, just to let you know you are very, very safe at this money. Anything under 15,000, I gave you 12 to 15 as a very conservative auction estimate. They are known to sell for a lot more. I'll give you 30 seconds with Lucy. Last chance, last call. 3.9, Minnesota, you're in the lead.
Yes, it was his etchings that he was known for. Let's go to my screen. And you can see 2023 at Sotheby's. 27,000, 27,000, 29,000. That was without buyer's premium, by the way. And so with buyer's premium there, 37,000 for that one. And it was London Sotheby's, okay, signed. And presumably in good condition, it says frame. So you understand now exactly what you're bidding on, everyone. And at 3,900, wow. I wish I was able to bid. I think these are timeless classics. Let's come back to our work. They're absolutely beautiful. If you are Art Deco fans as well, it's an added bonus, but truly a gorgeous collector's piece. Over to you, Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think you're really missing something here, but Minnesota, you are not missing the trick because you're in the lead and I'm selling. New York, I'm very surprised at 39 bid, at 399 bidder, hand signed. The only artist proof I have had in 40 years, and there was only one ever created for the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think you understand how valuable they are. Can I just show the book before we pass out the auction? Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing, amazing opportunity. As I told you, there are books written about this man. This is unbelievable. Look, all full of his images. This is something you should acquire. Minnesota, if you end up with this piece, which I think you will in a few seconds, just get yourself the book. I mean, it is full of his images. Have that on the coffee table. Have that in pride of place in your home. Know that you've probably just acquired that 25,000 under where it should be selling. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm selling it. It's 25,000 under where it should be selling. It's going then at 3.9 with Minnesota. At 39, got a bit of 3.9. It goes once. 3.9, 4,000. Thank you, New York. 4,000, New York back in. At 4,000 bid. At 4,000, it's bid. 4,000. Sorry about that, Minnesota. New York came back in at 4,000 bid. At 4,000 bid. At 4,000 bid. Is there anyone else? Yes or no? At 4,000 and we're selling. We're taking too long on this one. At 41, it's with Minnesota again. At 41, I'm bid. At 41, Hunter, yes or no? At 41, got a bit of 4-1 bid. 42 with Hunter. Thank you. At 42 is bid. At 42 with Hunter's bidder. At 42 bid. At 42, we're still about 25,000 under where it should sell. At 4.3, it sounds ridiculous, but ladies and gentlemen, this is an original hand-signed 1924 work by the world-famous Louis Icart. It's about to go, probably the most famous illustrator of the 20th century in that period. At 43, it's with Ty now from Minnesota. I'm selling now. At 43, give me 4.5. At 43, and I'm selling, it's going. At 43, it goes then with Minnesota. At 43, it goes once, twice. 4.3 is sold. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on with the show, and let's give you a nice video now to introduce our next artist. It's a famous young artist from America. He's doing fantastic things, and look at this magnificent image. It is lot number 5. It's called The Weight of Wind, and it is an original charcoal drawing on woven paper, and it happens to be by the incredible Mad Charcoal. These John galleries now, what are they, 12,000? 15,000. Okay, I'm being conservative again, so 15,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start this one at only $1,000. I'll sell it to the highest bidder. Here is Mad Charcoal.
An astounding new artist in the realm of contemporary art, Josh Hernandez, aka Mad Charcoal, is one of the most exciting and innovative artists we introduce to our audiences. Termed a groundbreaking figure in expressive abstract realism, his evocative portraits capture human emotion and experience, blending technical mastery with raw, emotional depth. With millions of followers on Instagram and over 7 million TikTok followers, he is truly one of the most talented young artists to emerge onto the art scene. Renowned for his mastery of charcoal, he creates artworks that blend hyperrealism with emotional depth, producing works that resonate deeply with viewers and collectors. His rise in the art world has been marked by an uncompromising dedication to exploring human emotion, the fragility of existence, and the power of narrative. With a unique vision for detail, he crafts intricate, large-scale compositions that are at once haunting and captivating. His subjects, ranging from raw portraits of human faces to dynamic movement, leap off the canvas alive with intensity. The stark contrasts of light and shadow in his pieces evoke a visceral reaction, challenging viewers to confront the underlying themes that permeate his work. Through his unique, innovative use of charcoal, he has established himself as an essential voice in modern art. Mad Charcoal's fearless experimentation with tools like erasers, brushes, and the use of his hands as an artistic tool has transformed the traditionally rigid medium into a fluid, dynamic art form. Join us at the Fine Art Auction for a front row seat and experience the extraordinary artistry of Mad Charcoal as we showcase these magnificent works of art and make them available to collectors worldwide.
So something that my collectors might not know about me is that I'm not classically trained. I'm not formally trained as an artist. I did go to school for design, and I did attend some art classes, but I'm mostly self-taught. Just pursuing the ability to create in many different ways upon trial and error, and just a natural inclination towards what I wanted to create. Looking to tons of different directions in order to build my skill set is not something that I attended any sort of academy for, but I truly enjoy just learning and growing as an individual. Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited about this artist. I really think this is an incredible talent. And, you know, Mad Charcoal now has more than 9 million followers and admirers across his platforms worldwide, with billions of accumulated views. And he only began sharing his charcoal work back in 2020. So why should you, and I really do encourage you all to consider owning an original, remember these are original works by him, because, you know, number one, look at what this artist has achieved in an extraordinarily short period of time. And then also, let's just all consider this talent. I mean, I find it mind-blowing that he hasn't had any professional training, nothing at all. He was doing a completely different job. And it was his wife who said, you know, why don't you just start showing people what you do online? And he started doing that and people loved it. So he continued. And before he knew it, let's go to my screen. He's got 1.9 million followers on Instagram. So let's just see, you know, what he's able to do. Things just emerge. That's the talent. He is almost as if he is a modern day sort of Rembrandt or Michelangelo, you know, those names, Leonardo da Vinci. He is really able to create this incredible contrast between light and dark, and he just trusts himself. It's all about trusting himself. He just sort of starts and just sees what emerges, and it's almost as if he's saying, you know, just see what happens, what emerges out of the chaos, because something beautiful will emerge. And that's exactly what happens with his works. This is why everyone is so excited, because everything you're seeing is built by hand, layer by layer. There's no undo, no digital correction. And that immediacy gives the work this raw energy, which comes into your home. It almost comes to life. And this is what everyone is responding to. You look at the comments, you know, I love the way you attack your work. Beautiful and inspiring. This is absolutely amazing. This is what it's all about, everyone. This is talent. This is genius. This is you collecting art and starting a collection that really will just give back every single day. Let's come back to our work, because he's already built this global audience. The art world is simply catching up now to what millions already recognize. The work that he's created here, those horses, I mean, gosh, just look at the power within those. Do you know how difficult it is to paint, let alone create how he creates using charcoal and no preparatory processes at all? To really be able to capture the anatomy of a horse is incredibly, insanely difficult. I mean, George Stubbs is known for his famous work, that gorgeous horse that's in the National Gallery. This is the modern 21st century answer to that. Charcoal, also incredibly hard to master. It's fragile. It moves, it smudges. So to control it at high level takes serious skill. And that level of control is really what elevates his work. This is an artist with a massive story as well. He wasn't expecting to be a full-time artist. He just posted one video and the rest, as they say, is history. But the impact of his art really does extend beyond his art to influence a much broader community as well. And this is, I think, what we all want. We want these artists who are creating and building momentum globally, internationally. You know, he is a force of nature within a world of art. Back to you, Richard.
See, here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, and I have our next lot, and I'm giving you the high bidder's choice here, ladies and gentlemen, the high bidder's choice. Let's have a look at these pieces, and the certificate of authenticity for the first one, which I put as number 1 there, is Mad Charcoal, the American artist born in 1995. The Weight of Wind. The Weight of Wind is an original charcoal drawing on woven paper, and it is a unique work executed by Mad Charcoal in 2025. Remember, I'm giving you the high bidder's choice. The highest bidder will have the first choice. You can have number 1, which is called The Weight of Wind, or you can have number 2, which is called The Shadow That Meets the Horizon, featuring the cowboy there. And ladies and gentlemen, it is again an original charcoal drawing on woven paper, a unique work executed by Mad Charcoal in 2025. Let's have a look at these magnificent originals. Ladies and gentlemen, remember there's only one in the world of this, only one in the world of this, and only one in the world of this. So great Western piece there. Great, equine piece here, ladies and gentlemen. So their hand sign down here, Josh, J-O-S-H, going up the image there. The same on this one, Josh, and also normally he signs them on the reverse as well. So you've actually got the title here, The Weight of Wind. Josh Hernandez is his name, otherwise known as Mad Charcoal. The same on this one, it's titled on the reverse. So high bidder's choice, you're in at 2,500. Thank you for your bid, and I'm going to now take it back to Lucy. Lucy, let's give it to you, and I'll give you 2 minutes. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that when you collect art like this, you're collecting something with a completely different kind of energy, and you are now becoming part of this artist's story. So you will be building a collection because you just loved it, and you can see the genius of this artist. You can see into the future and where he's going to go. So pat yourself on the back for that. This is an original. Let's go to my screen. We have a work here for sale at the moment at 20,000. I can tell you, in just a couple of years, I think this is an artist who's going to be selling for a lot more than that. I've seen it happen in the galleries I've worked in on Bond Street in London. And this type of artist with this skill, this talent, this ability, that's another one, 16,000, this is pounds, so it's around $20,000 mark again. And, you know, this is extraordinary, raw talent, you know, coming from within the depths of this man. Let's come back to our work. He's only 30 years old. So, you know, he's got a huge future ahead of him. And when we feature these artists, and you know, it doesn't happen very often. And I know it is because of our relationship within the art world. We've been around for 20 years. We have a VP of sales and marketing who's very well connected. We have a whole team, and bringing and finding these really exciting artists of our time. And we know that to achieve 9 million viewers in such a short space of time, that doesn't happen by chance or overnight. It happens because people want to know and want to be part of it, and they really admire your work. And this is how he has managed to reach such a great audience, you know, and it's just climbing every single day. It's purely because this is what we're looking for these days. We're looking for these works that are created by humans, you know, that have that energy, have that talent, have layer upon layer upon layer of creativity and genius. And this is Mad Charcoal. He is absolutely an artistic genius. Over to you, Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a top bid from New York. Unbelievably, you know, I would have thought maybe, you know, my naive English interpretation, I would have thought maybe someone from Texas, maybe someone, you know, from Kentucky with the horses, but it's New York at 2,500. At 2,500, and it's with Beverly's bidder at 25, and I'm going to sell to the highest bidder now. At 25, going to bid at 2.5. You've got 1 minute with me. 1 minute clock. 1 minute clock. Final call for bids. Final call for bids. At 25, I'm bid. At 25, going to bid at 2.5. 2.5 bid. At 25. At 25, is there another one to move on? At 25, yes or no? At 25 is bid. With New York then, at 25, going to bid at 2.5. Are you bidding yes or no, Cleo? Last chance. At 25, it is the final call for bids. Yes or no? At 25. 25 is bid. 26, thank you. At 26 is bid. At 26, I'm bid. 26, I'm bid. 26, I'm bid. Thank you very much. 27 bid. At 27, going to bid at 2.7. At 27 bid. At 27. 2,700 bid. At 27 bid. 28 bid. At 28. Now 3. Now 3. At 28 bid. At 28, going to bid at 2.8. 2.8 with Michael. At 28. 3,000. 3,000 bid. At 3,000 bid. At 3, going to bid at 3. At 3, going to bid at 3. At 3,000 bid. It's New York in the lead then at 3,000 going once. At 3,000. You've got to be quick if you want it. At 3,000 on number 2. Sold at 3,000. Congratulations. You got number 2 there, New York. Well done. Thank you, John. Let's take that out. I'm going to offer this one. You've got literally a minute to get on the phone. I'll start it at half that. I'll start at $1,500, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to sell it in the next minute. Get on the phone if you want it. Here's Lucy. 1,500 opens.
Can't believe that. Let's go back to my screen because we've got to remind ourselves again, it's a situation where are you going to get on the phones now or are you going to regret it tomorrow morning and have to look for a work by him because, you know, it's really got into your brain. And that's what happens with incredible art. 20,000 is what you would expect to spend on an original by this artist. And if we come back to our work, he is honestly one of the most electrifying young artists working today. And that global audience already huge, about this 8, actually I think it's now at 9 million. So he is part of a new wave of contemporary artists bringing these traditional mediums back into focus in a world dominated by digital. I think we really then start to appreciate that he's working with one of the oldest, most unforgiving materials, charcoal. So everything you're seeing has been created by him, layer by layer. It's incredible watching him. And go onto his YouTube. He offers tutorials, you know, and he is really so passionate and so incredibly talented. And his work really does sit right in the middle between realism and emotion. So he doesn't just capture likeness. He captures intensity, mood, energy. You know, look at that. I mean, wow. I love horses. And so if you do as well, or you know someone who does, what a great piece of art to hang in your home. And to become part of this artist's most definite rise to the top. I mean, he is building huge momentum. There is no question that this is an artist who is going places. That is why people are buying into him now, because they recognize that it's a powerful piece. This is just one of those pieces of art that I just think you're going to love every single day. Over to you, Richard.
26, I'm bid with Tawana's bidder now at 26. 26, Cleo, you're out. 26 with Tawana. At 26, I'm selling. At 26, it's going to the highest bidder. At 2.6 only. 27. 27 with Cleo. At 27 bid. At 27, good to see you, Cleo. 27 is bid. At 27, Tawana, would you like to go 3? 27. 28, I'm bid. Now 3. Now 3. At 28 with Tawana. At 28, I would go to 3 if I were you. It's up to you. At 28 bid. At 28, get a bid of 2.8 with Tawana's bidder. At 28, I'm selling. At 28, and it goes. At 28 bid. At 28 bid. At 28, get a bid of 2.8. 2.8 bid. At 28 bid. 28 bid, it's selling. Going. I'm going to sell it at 2,800. 2,800, it sells then at 28 with Tawana. Last chance. Going once. I am selling now. Just to be clear, at 2,800. Going twice. Yes or no, Cleo? I know you're trying. At 28. 29 just in time, Cleo. At 29 now 3. Now 3. At 29 bid. At 2.9 get a bid of 2.9. At 2.9 bid. 2.9 bid. 2.9 now 3. 3,000 bid with Tawana. At 3 get a bid of 3. At 3,000 bid. At 3,000 bid. 31. 31 is bid. 31, there's only one in the world and it's going now. At 31 it goes with Clio. At 31, 31 I'm bid. 31, I'll give you fair warning. 32, at 32, how about 35? How about 35? How about 35? 32 bid. 32 bid. 32, thanks for letting me know it's on set and with you. With Tawana's bidder then. At 32 it goes once, it goes twice. At 3-2, sold and gone. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we took a little bit of time on the Guy Buffet, etc., so we're a bit behind time, so I'm going to give you a chance now. These are very, very rare because they're artist proofs. There's only 22 of these in the world, ladies and gentlemen. It is an artist proof, and I've got the certificate here. It's called Exhale, which I do occasionally. Exhale. Giclée. There's only 22 of them in the world. It's hand-signed by Josh Hernandez. He's made 22. These are his artist proofs. Let's zoom in on that artist proof. 22 in the world, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do this. They should sell really in a gallery for about 2,000, 2,200. Is that right, John? Yeah, around 2,200. So I'm going to bring it under 2. I'm going to bring it under 1,500. And in fact, I'm going to bring it under 1,000. Here's what I'm going to do. John, I believe, did you say we got 4 available? 4. 4 available only. Let's do this. I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to sell the remaining 4, then the edition is sold out. There won't be any available, but I'm going to bring it under 500. Ladies and gentlemen, get on the phone now. 450 plus the buyer's premium and it's yours. 450 framed, the artist proof. There's only 22 in the world. 450. Get on the phone very, very quickly. Here is Lucy. 450 and it is yours.
Wow. I mean, look. If we have people watching this morning who are new to the show and this is the first piece that you really felt something for, remember that other collectors in the world, that's what they did. They acted on that gut instinct. Great collections have been built on that gut feeling, and it is all about following that. For me, I just love, how he views his work and what he says about it. For example, he says, it is a journey from chaos to creation, a dance between spontaneity and intention, guided by intuition and courage. Because remember, he is just putting his charcoal onto the paper and starting and just seeing what emerges. Embrace the unknown, let go of doubts and insecurities, and as chaos evolves, beauty emerges. And that's what I really like. And he says that his art reflects the chaos and uncertainty of life, and creating something beautiful out of what happens to you and what happens around you and to the people you love. And then you, in the final moments, you step back and you behold your masterpiece. And that's what he's doing, and that's what he's created here. It's stunning, this piece. He's very much known for these gorgeous women that just emerge out of the paper. And I think, too, what I need to say here as well is I need to make clear that, of course, Instagram and TikTok numbers and YouTube numbers don't make an artist, but they do prove something important. People feel something when they see his work. That is why he has amassed 9 million followers. I mean, that's a huge deal. I know you know that. And so this really is a collector's opportunity. A young artist with a global following, museum-level skill. I would actually say he's very similar to Rembrandt in how he was able to create portraits, and a market that is still expanding. So, you really are onto something here by owning an artist proof at only 450. Great artists these days, they don't wait to be discovered anymore. Like they used to by, somebody who sort of scouted them and then said, do you want to be represented in my gallery? They now create their own stage. And Mad Charcoal has already built an audience bigger, and this is major, bigger than many established names. Let that sink in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get in on the action, there's one available. 450 plus the buyer's premium. I've done it as a gift. Really, this should auction for about 1,000. They're over $2,000 in the gallery. I've done it under 500. There's one available. Kim's in charge of the phone, doing a great job as always. And ladies and gentlemen, there is one available only. 450 plus the buyer's premium. If you want the last one, you have to call in now. 866-518-5933. And if you're brand new to the show, there's an extra little gift to welcome you as you register to help you acquire your first work. I'll say no more. It's a free gift. Ladies and gentlemen, get on the phone now. If you've never registered before, call in now and find out what your free gift is. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Lot number 7 has one available. John, we're moving on with the show. Let's have our next lot up for the auction. And ladies and gentlemen, it's an amazing piece. It is by a world-famous sculptor. He came from Colombia. He was born in 1932. He would have been around about 94 years of age now had he survived, but he passed away at a good old age in 2023, ladies and gentlemen. So he lived to be 91 years of age. He exhibited all around the world for over 70 years. He had a fascinating story. Because he became literally one of the most famous artists in the world. This is an original bronze sculpture. He created it in 1992, so he was only 60 years of age at that time. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the bronze sculpture on a marble base after the original, signed, dated and numbered. And ladies and gentlemen, it is from an edition of only 50 in the world. And what an incredible piece this is. Executed in Italy at the famous Valsuani foundry. Ladies and gentlemen, a very, very famous foundry there in 1992. I'll give you the measurements for this piece because it is absolutely superb. This is what you call quintessential Fernand Botero. Obviously a bull is, you know, we all know what a bull is. It's a strong animal, but he was famous for making everything of his oversized. And ladies and gentlemen, he'd have probably loved me as a model for his paintings, but Lucy not so much. She's very slim. Ladies and gentlemen, but this is a fantastic, fantastic example of the bull, and this is done in its sort of oversized look. Fernando Botero's signature on there. There's the foundry. There's the edition in Roman numerals, in only 50 of them created for the world back in 1992. It's a magnificent article. And ladies and gentlemen, that has some considerable weight to it. I'm going to take it over to Lucy now, who's going to measure this magnificent piece. 14 inches, Lucy, and she's going to tell you all about it. 14 by 10. 14 by 10 is the size of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start this for you. Now, they're very, very collectible. I'm going to start it very low. I'll start it very low. Lucy will tell you the kind of money they make in galleries, but this I will start under 10,000. I'm going to start it again at only 2,000. I'll sell it to the highest bidder. Ladies and gentlemen, so get on the phone now on the Fernando Botero sculpture. Lucy, 2,000. That is impossible to find that anywhere in the world at that level. I'm starting it low. Let's see what it makes. Here's Lucy after the video.
Fernando Botero, a renowned Colombian artist, has captivated the world with his unique and distinctive style known as Boterismo. His exaggerated, voluminous forms extend across paintings, drawings and, most notably, sculptures. Botero's sculptures are instantly recognizable. These inflated, almost balloon-like forms are not whimsical choices, but deliberate artistic strategies. Through these exaggerated forms, Botero explores themes of volume, space and form, challenging conventional perceptions of beauty and proportion. Botero's bronze sculptures have left a significant mark on public art and urban landscapes. From New York to Paris to his hometown of Medellin, his monumental sculptures transform city squares and parks, making art an integral part of everyday life. One of Botero's hallmarks is the universality of his work. The exaggerated forms transcend cultural and linguistic barriers, inviting a global audience to engage and reflect. His satirical depictions of political figures and clergy add a layer of social commentary, making complex themes accessible and engaging. Creating these sculptures requires immense technical skill and craftsmanship. Despite their exaggerated proportions, Botero's sculptures convey a wide range of human emotions. They exude warmth, humour and humanity, inviting viewers to connect on a personal level. His exploration of the human form and emotion adds depth to his work, securing his legacy in the annals of art history. Fernando Botero's contributions, unique vision, and cultural identity resonate through his sculptures, celebrating not just his personal expression, but also his rich Colombian heritage. I never wanted to paint skinny people, because that's not what touched my heart. Fernando Botero.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so now we know what he's all about, and this is, I think, one of those major deals as well. He's a huge artist and internationally recognised. He has a global following. He is celebrated in both the 20th and 21st century. He was born in 1932, had a very long life. He recently passed away just about 3 years ago in 2023. And he became world famous for this visual language that is entirely his own, a very distinctive style. So once you've seen one Botero, generally speaking, you will recognize another one. He doesn't need a signature. He's that type of artist that everybody recognizes. His figures, his animals, his musicians, his dancers, his political scenes are all rendered in this very generous way that has become to known globally as Boterismo. So let's go to my screen and let's just have a look. So he is, even though he passed away 3 years ago, he's that important of an artist. There is always going to be a major exhibition of his works. And that is, I think, really indicative of what a big name we're talking about here. When we look at the Metropolitan Museum of Art there in New York City, you are going to find Botero there. He was a master, there's no doubt. And when you look for his lifetime bronzes, which is exactly what we've got for you, they are difficult to find. Because, of course, he's no longer with us. He's not creating any more. They are in private and corporate and museum collections. And what you'll find is contact gallery, price on request. It generally means they don't have them, but they're building a list for when they do, and then they'll get in contact with you. I find it interesting as well when you're looking at industry publications, they're talking about the strength of Botero's market. Proven remarkably resilient, global and intergenerational, meaning obviously all of us, doesn't matter what age group you are, love Botero. And after he passed away, demand has only surged. That's interesting, isn't it? And then we look at 1990, a notable sale price for his work was $500,000. We go to 2025, 2 years after he passed away, 4.3 million. It's just increased. So it's only going upwards. It's not going downwards, it's going upwards. And his sculptures are all over the world. They are public installations, permanent works. There's one in Barcelona. He is an internationally global recognized artist. His paintings as well, hanging in the MoMA there. Go and have a look, go and see. You probably already know of this artist. 5.1 million there. Sold in 2023, Christie's, New York. Generally speaking, this is where you would have to go to find a Botero. 275,000 for a bronze, 4.9 million for a life-size bronze, 4.3 for one there in 2022, Christie's, New York again, 3.9 million, 2024, Christie's, New York, 3.6 million, Christie's, New York. So can you see the pattern here? Let's go back to our work. It's really, I think, an exciting moment for you to own an original bronze sculpture on marble by Botero, one of the most recognized and celebrated artists of our time. And what makes him so extraordinary is not just the style, but the intent behind it, because these are works that really were for him a way to explore presence and the monumental dignity and I suppose presence of everyday life, of people and of animals, these animals that really are very important, of course, in the grand scheme of things, and he gives them that status, that presence. So whether he paints a cardinal, a cat, a reclining woman or a matador, he gives his subjects fullness, weight, personality. And so his works have this sort of sense of humour, but they also have emotional depth. Back to you, Richard.
I thought I'd started at 2,000 just to get some bidding going. We have not received a bid, John, have we? No bids at the moment, so thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you. This particular piece, I'm going to pass it out in the next 2 minutes if I don't see a bid. So put up a 3-minute clock. If I don't see a bid on it, I'm going to pass it out. Ladies and gentlemen, I have sold these in the past in the region of $20,000 in my auctions. 20,000. I thought I'll start it at 90% under just to get a bid. Ladies and gentlemen, there's not been one bid on it. Unbelievable for a Botero sculpture. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you. I can't bid for you. Lot number 8, appreciate you watching, but if you want to acquire something very valuable, now's your opportunity. There were only 50 of these made by the Colombian art superstar. He was born in 1932, he died in 2023. It is the Bull. Bronze sculpture on marble base after the original. Signed, dated, numbered and studio stamped, and the addition L means 50 in Roman numerals. Executed in Italy at the Valsuani foundry in 1992. Very, very rare. Get ready to take it out, John. We've got 1 minute left. If there's no bids, it's going out unsold. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a very, very heavy bronze sculpture. Now, let me lift that. Let me tell you, that's got to be over 20 pounds, over 20 pounds in weight. I know it doesn't look like it, but I was at the gym last night. I lifted a 35-pound weight, and it wasn't dissimilar. Ladies and gentlemen, so I don't know the exact weight, but it's well over 20 pounds, that piece. Solid bronze marble, only 50 of them ever created in 1992. Lucy, we're going to have to pass it out, it looks like. Here's Lucy.
Can't believe that. Let's go to my screen. I'm sure people are just having a little think and deciding where they're going to put it. I do think this is such a collector's item, but here we have Man on Horse, again another auction result, sold for 4.3 million. There again, I believe that must be Christie's New York. And then one I think is a little bit closer to the one that we have, not a life-size piece. This one, estimate between 300,000 to 400,000, actually achieved 529,000. When it achieves much higher than the estimate, the high estimate, it means there was a lot of competitive bidding going on, which will again show you how popular this artist is and how sought after he is. Also, to go around the world and see some of his works is just really nice too. Colombia, Argentina, Spain, I showed you that one, didn't I? Portugal, London, Russia, Singapore, the bird there, where is that one? I can't see. Oh, Medellin. So let's go back to our work. And I'm sure now people I can see getting on the phones, you've decided what you're going to do, whether you are going to actually get on the phone and take up this opportunity, because over the decades, his sculptures have been installed in major public spaces around the world. I've just shown you that. The market has been consistently strong for more than half a century. So that's a proven track record in terms of auction results. His major works, as we've seen, they achieve exceptional results at international auction houses, and his brilliance lies in his ability to balance the beauty, satire, elegance and humour. That's difficult to do, and that's what he's able to do, and what he's able to do right here. You can see it's incredible, I think. He's created a visual language so immediately identifiable that, again, doesn't need a signature. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you. Well, it's selling now. Unbelievable. I thought this would make somewhere around 7,000 to 8,000 in the auction. Ladies and gentlemen, 7 to 8 is what it should be selling for all day long here. I'm under 5,000. I've got 28 with Charlie now. At 28, I'm selling. At 28, get a bit of 28 bid. At 28 bid. At 28, is there 29 to move on? At 28, last chance, last call. At 29, thank you. 29 is bid. At 29 now 3. At 29 now 3. At 29, it's about to go. At 29, is there another one off? Anyone at 29? I'm selling. At 29, get a bit of 29 bid. At 29 bid, 29 bid, 29 bid. On sale with you. At 29, get a bit of 29 bid. At 29 bid. At 29, it's going. Give me your best and final bid. It's selling now. On sale with you. Unbelievable at this level. I'm selling now. Anyone else, John? Going once. It is on sale, and with you then, going twice the final time. Sold and gone. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to bring in a second sculpture by Botero, so I can speed this one up a little bit. I believe our top bid was 3,000 there, or close to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a chance to bid on this one. I'll start it at half the money, at only $1,500. $1,500. Let's sell it to the highest bidder. Again, it is the sculpture. I love this piece, the Rotund Horse, 1992, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very rare article indeed from the Valswani foundry. Again, the weight of this, I think it's even heavier than the last one. That's got to be over 30 pounds, well over 30 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. So that piece, the bronze sculpture, solid bronze, marble base, and ladies and gentlemen, up next is Fernando Botero. I start at 1,500. I'll give you 2 minutes to bid on it. Sorry, let's give a 3-minute clock because I'm going to do the certificate of authenticity. So let's have a look at the certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the horse, the bronze sculpture on marble base, and ladies and gentlemen, again, very small edition, executed in Italy. At the Valswani foundry. There's only one for sale in the world, and it is here from 1992, the beautiful sculpture of Fernando Botero. There is the piece. Let's give you the measurements as well, then Lucy will take over and give you final information. 12, John 12, and the height there 13, 12 by 13 at a large piece, very, very heavy, extremely heavy, over 30 pounds I would say that piece is, ladies and gentlemen, and it is magnificent. The horse by Fernando Botero, 1,500 opens, and you've got 2 minutes left to bid. Here we go. Final call for bids. Here's Lucy.
Isn't this gorgeous, everyone? Absolutely stunning. And I've just had a little look whilst Richard was talking then and found a very similar piece, a monumental work, obviously, and it's on display in Bilbao. Let's have a look. Let's go to my screen. It's a bit blurry, but you'll get the gist. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, just stunning. And let's come back to our work. So I hope that gives you a little bit of context and helps you to see that this truly is a market that is exploding. You know, it is. And owning a lifetime work really aligns with the period of the artist's active supervision, obviously. Even, you know, he is the artist who was creating these pieces. These aren't works that have been created after he passed away. He passed away in 2023. This work was done in 1992 when he was just exploding actually onto the scene, when his career really took off, when he started to be commissioned to do these life-size works all over the world. And the sculpture market value, or rather values, continues that legacy. And his works are largely in bronze, which we've seen here, and around precise foundry collaboration, which we've got here as well. And so that means that collectors like you are very comfortable with that process. You know, Rodin, he was an artist who would use the same process. And the market for Botero has been consistently strong for decades. I've showed you. In fact, maybe we should go back and let's just have a look at how his works increased over the years and actually went even further when he passed away. Just very quickly before I pass to you, Richard, let's go to my screen. 2025, a huge jump to 4.3. Let's go back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to show you how I would display this. It's a beauty. What a beautiful piece that. Put it on a nice podium. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a magnificent piece. Drop the graphics for a second. And ladies and gentlemen, that is gorgeous. Zoom in on the image again one last time. And ladies and gentlemen, this, I wish I could get all the lighting right for you. But we do our best under the circumstances. There is the horse. It is a magnificent piece. A lot of weight to that. The marble base. Solid bronze from 1992. It's selling now. Bring back the graphics. It's one last minute. Final call for bids. One final minute with me then. At 2,000 bid. At 2,000 bid. I'm selling now. At 2, got a bit of 2 bid. At 2,000 bid. 2,000 only. 2-1. Thank you. At 21. 21 is bid. Karen, thank you. Nice to see you. At 21. 21 is bid. At 21, got a bit of 2-1. 2-1 bid. At 21. Selling now. We're about 1,000 under what what the last one just sold for. I thought the horse would make more. 22. Thank you, Darren. At 22, got a bit of 2-2 bid. At 22, 22, and it's selling now. Give me your best and final bids. Give me your best and final bid. Is there anyone else, yes or no? At 22, 24. Thank you. 24, new bidder. At 24, 24, 24 is bid. At 24, got a bit of 2-4 on the horse. At 24, and it's selling now. At 25, 25 bid. 25, got a bit of 2-5, 2-5. The horse I thought might make more. At 25, 25, I'm surprised on this one. At 25, 25, got a bit of 2-5. Give me your best and final bids now. Best and final bid. Is there anyone else, yes or no? It's selling and going. Last chance, last call. On sale and with you. On sale and with you on the beautiful bronze by the fantastic, world famous deceased artist. That's the key. There will be no more made. There will be no more made. What's the bid? What's the bid? 2-7 bid. 2-7 bid. 2-7 bid. Best and final bids now. Best and final bids. Best and final bid. Is there anyone else, yes or no? Anyone else, yes or no? Last chance, last call. It's about to sell. It is about to sell. 28 bid. 28 bid. 28 bid. 28 bid. Now 3. Now 3. At 28 bid. 28 bid. Now 3. Now 3. 28 bid. 28. Get a bit of 2-8. 2-8 bid. Now 3. 3. How much? 2-9 bid, 2-9, I'll take 3, 2-9 bid, 29 bid, 29, get a bit of 2-9, 2-9, now 3, now 3, last chance, last call, at 29 unbid, at 29, best and final bids, it's going this time, selling now, anyone else yes or no, anyone else yes or no, it's going once, it's going twice, 3,000 bid, at 3,000 bid, at 3, get a bit of 3, at 3, at 3, at 3, it goes once, at 3,000 going twice, gavels high, sold and gone, thank you very much. Congratulations. Well done to you, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving on with the show. Coming up next, fantastic artists. Well done on those Boteros. They are beautiful. Look after them. They're legacy pieces. Keep them in the family. Pass them down over the generations. Look after them because obviously he's passed away. They're never going to make any more. Ladies and gentlemen, they are collector's pieces. Look after them and enjoy them. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see the next artist. And ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful, beautiful work. A great example. Zoom in on the image. Let's have a look at that. It is the fantastical, mystical, and wonderful work of a great, great artist. He's also from Colombia. He's very much alive and he was born only in 1997. He's a young artist, highly, highly talented. He's one of the most sought after artists in the contemporary art world today. Original pen and ink drawing. This is a one of a kind and it's called Four Little Balloons. Ladies and gentlemen, from 2026 by the incredible Pedro Ortiz Munoz. I'll give you a chance to own this original. It is a one of a kind. It's hand signed. They take so long to do each one because the detail in them, some of his paintings can take up to a year to complete. This is a beautiful small image called Four Little Balloons, and ladies and gentlemen, it's on sale and I'll start it at only 1,000. It will sell to the highest bidder. Here is Pedro Ortiz Munoz.
The Fine Art Auction Channel welcomes Pedro Ortiz Munoz, the visionary artist behind captivating steampunk masterpieces. Steampunk art has emerged as an influential genre, capturing imaginations worldwide. With its retro-futuristic aesthetics, Pedro Ortiz Munoz pushes his art beyond boundaries, encouraging intricate works featuring gears, cogs, and elaborate details throughout his masterpieces. Reimagining future filled with fantastical inventions bridging the past and present, celebrating craftsmanship, while acknowledging the potential for progress. Don't miss Pedro Ortiz Munoz's extraordinary works showcased on the Fine Art Auction Channel.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so another exciting artist, and this is an artist who, again, is building momentum as we speak and has shown incredible creativity and technical ability, skill, talent, all of those wonderful, wonderful things. And to me too, you know, this is an artist who sets himself apart from everybody else in the 21st century, because there are not many artists who are able to create from their imagination and only their imagination, and use their skill and talent as an artist and creativity to execute what they see in their imagination. The other artist that we can perhaps liken him to is Salvador Dali, arguably one of the most famous, if not the most famous surrealist of all time. He was one of those artists who also did exactly the same. He would create just from his imagination. So if you think about it, an artist can have skill and talent, and they can paint a portrait, they can paint a landscape. But what they're using is obviously what's right in front of them to paint that and to create from that. Whereas this artist is creating what's inside his head, using his own imagination. And talking to him, as we did because we had him on the show, we discovered that this is an artist as well, and I find this fascinating. He goes into almost an altered state, like Salvador Dali, but he does that through his dreams. So he is astral traveling, if you like, although it scared him, so he stopped. But he's remembered, and it's almost like he sees these visions in his dreams and he's able to capture them within his works of art. So that, in a nutshell, is what we're looking at here. This is an original. It's an original pen and ink drawing. Loving the paper, love that edge. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And to be honest with you, what Pedro really reminds me of is those early sketchbooks of Leonardo da Vinci. The idea that drawing isn't just about the finished image, it's about thinking on paper, creating a new world, creating something different. You feel like you're witnessing ideas that are forming, or worlds being constructed, or a world that's been constructed in a dream that's come to life on paper. And interesting, like Leonardo, like Rembrandt, he's left-handed. And I think that does tell us something extraordinary about this artist. It does seem that left-handed individuals maybe use a different part of their brain. I don't know. I'm not a neuroscientist. But historically, it's often been associated with artists who approach things from a slightly different perspective. Now, let's go to my screen. Because this artist, when we first started talking about him, which was only, I think, 18 months ago, he hardly had any followers. Now he's reached that threshold of 50,000. Again, this doesn't happen by chance. It happens because people are really interested in what you're doing. And this is an artist who is creating from himself. You know, nothing is computer generated. It's fascinating to see. And if we come back to our work, I think too that what we have to appreciate is that this is an artist who is new, who is exciting, who everyone is now starting to talk about. And you will be owning an original by him. Who knows what's going to happen with that original? Back to you, Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to clarify, that is an original. There's only one in the world. That is it. That is the original. Ladies and gentlemen, so I've not received a bid on this one so far. I thought I'd start it nice and low. John, would you say somewhere around 8,000 to 10,000 is fair for these in galleries now?
Absolutely.
$1,000 is only the starting bid, but I haven't received a bid. Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Ortiz Munoz, original pen and ink drawing. Let's have a look at the certificate of authenticity. Four little balloons, the original pen and ink drawing on woven paper. Ladies and gentlemen, I can do everything for you. I can bring Lucy in from London and give you all the information, but I can't bid for you. So if you want to register, get yourself registered. If you've never done it before, call in now. There is a free gift for you if you're registering for the first time. We don't share your information. 866-518-5933. Let's put up a 3-minute clock. John, if I don't see a bid on this in the next 2 minutes, again, get ready to pass it out. Original, back to the certificate. Original pen and ink drawing on woven paper, signed and dated by the artist on the lower left. A unique work executed by Munoz in 2026. I am now going to give you another opportunity because, again, I don't want to waste time. If there's no interest, we'll pass them out. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. You've got number 1 here. Number 2 is your second choice. So it's the high bidder's choice here. And ladies and gentlemen, that is also an original. I'll give you the title of that one. And the title is, let's go to the certificate. The title is Spike Fish. original pen and ink drawing on woven paper, signed and dated by the artist. On the upper right, a unique work executed by Munoz in 2022. Got 1 minute. I don't see a bid. John, get ready to take the pair out if there are no bids. Here we go. Here's Lucy.
Called edging. That's what I love about those papers. I do think it gives it that sort of elevation, you know, that high-end luxury feel that we're all wanting. So imagine this in your home. And now let's have a look at the left-hand one, the fish. The fish ones, I believe, are particularly, he's particularly fond of, because he thinks that fish, you know, all fish probably are like us, you know, and they want to be able to walk, or they want to, you know, be able to get around a little bit differently. So, you know, again, he's just creating these imaginary worlds. This one has also got the wizard in it. So in the top right-hand corner, you've got the wizard. That is him within his imaginary world. So it's his representation in his world. Little Prince, it has a reference there as well. So for anyone who watched that show, it really, for him, is a playground to create with the fish, what he sees in his dreams. And he is combining almost that steampunk aesthetic as well. So really, I think what's fascinating about him and what makes him stand out is that he is creating these entirely imagined worlds. And his work is blending a little bit of history, science fiction, steampunk, those retro futuristic elements as well. And his own imagination, his own little bits that he adds in. So you're often going to see airships, intricate machinery, architectural fantasy. Plus, you know, if he is creating a piece that maybe he loves to travel, and travel can inspire him as well, but he will create it in his own way, in this fantastical, magical way. Over to you, Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you would never get this anywhere in a gallery at this price, but I'm going to do something crazy for you, and I do mean crazy. I'm going to give you the largest, most beautiful piece by this artist as a gift. I've got them available. This is the wonderful piece, thank you very much, by Pedro Ortiz Munoz, hand-signed, limited edition. I'm giving that as a gift with your originals. Now, there's a very small amount of these in the world. Let's zoom in on that. Let's show that image. Look at the work that goes into it. That original took him 6 months to do, and then he turned it into the print that we see here, ladies and gentlemen. And this print, I've got to tell you, is his artist proof. There's only 25 of those in the world. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give one as a gift with each of the originals. So, ladies and gentlemen, those prints, Lucy, they sell for over $3,000. So these sell for $3,000. These are over $10,000. You look at about $13,000 just to get those in a gallery. And this piece, I'm going to look for a little image up here. Could we zoom in there? This is his world famous image that he hides in his pieces. It is the wizard. Now, the wizard, you would think is, you know, generally speaking, a man. But this wizard is actually his mother. And he loves his mother, as we all do. And in fact, it's my mother's birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday, Mother. This piece here is actually with the wizard in the piece there. There's the wizard on this original. And the wizard always represents his mother. And why does he call her a wizard? Because he thinks she's so smart. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. If I can find the wizard, I'll let you know. I don't think it's in this one, but definitely in those two. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got the original High Bidder's Choice, and the print coming with it as a gift. Ladies and gentlemen, that's about $3,000 in the gallery. I'm giving it as a gift with your originals. Get on the phone. I'll give you one last minute with Lucy. Thank you. High Bidder's Choice with the print included.
Wow, that is a really nice print as well, Richard. That's an incredible opportunity for someone. And, you know, this is exactly what he is all about. That middle work, that centerpiece, imagine that in your home. And this is really his imaginary world. So he will have gone to, this might be the Portofino one, actually. So he travelled to Italy, fell in love with Portofino, and this is his interpretation. So this is his imaginary take on it. And it really does take you to another world. He says himself, it's an escape from reality based on reality itself. And so you've got all sorts of things happening here. But look at the detail, the skill of this artist. And just, you know, for me, it's very reminiscent of Leonardo da Vinci, very reminiscent of Rembrandt, using the skills that they use, the cross-hatching, but bringing it into the 21st century and really creating these gorgeous works that give you that contrast between light and dark and bringing everything to life. Also imagine this on a wall. Just do some really good imagining here and just see how spectacular they will look. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you very much. 17 is bid with Hunter's bidder. 17 bid, 17 bid, 17 bid. Thank you for bidding. 17 bid, 1700 bid, 1700 on number 2. Number 2 is on sale at 1700. Is there 18 to move on? 17 bid, 17 bid, 17 bid, 17 bid, and I'm selling number 2. It goes at 17. Do you want to bid? Yes or no? At 17 bid, 1700. The high bidder has the first choice. At 1700 it goes. At 1700 another one. 17 bid. 17 bid going once. I'm selling this time at 1700. Going twice at 1700. Third and the final time. It's a yes or no. Yes or no. I'm dropping the gavel otherwise. At 1700. Sold 1700. Number 2 has gone. Number 1 is available. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll do this. First person to call in, I'm going to match the price. Is that fair, John? Yes. At 17 on number 1. Number 1 is available, and I'm giving you that magnificent print as well. So let's look at that. Number 1, just to remind you, the title was called Four Little Balloons, slightly larger than number 2 actually, but beautiful piece, and it comes with a print. First person to call in at 1700, you get the pair. I'm not going to mess about. That is incredibly low, incredibly low. Lucy, let's give everyone 1 minute. You got 1 minute. First person to call in at 1700, you get the pair. Here we go.
Well, let's have a look at some of his works, and let's go to his Instagram. I think it's always fascinating to see, you know, how an artist creates and how these works really emerge. And it is, I think, true testament to the skill and talent of this artist and what he's able to achieve. And also looking at the different comments, you know, here, absolutely beautiful, amazing work. I love to crotch hatch myself, you know, I love in Spanish. It's just beautiful to see that this is an artist who is doing something they truly love. And if I come back to our work, I know his backstory as well. I think he always dreamed of being an artist. He started out as an artist, then he went on to study architecture. And then he just decided, no, I'm going to really follow my passion. And then everything fell into place for him. And before he knew it, he was on the show with us. And obviously that's given him exposure. You will become part of that story, and you'll be able to hang these on in your home and really just follow the success. And there is going to be huge, and already has been, for this artist. And I think it's something very satisfying when you do spot an artist quite early on, and then you get on that journey with them and you start to see their originals, their prints increasing in value. It becomes incredibly fun to build that collection like that. So over to you, Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, amazingly, no one's called in on that pair. They are being given away at that level, the print and the fantastic, fantastic original. The original alone, they're over $10,000, 8 to 10,000 for that size, and the print alone is about 3,000. So think about it this way: you got the print with a $1,300 discount, and the original completely free of charge, if you want to think of it that way. First person to call in, I can't help you anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on with the show, John, and we're going to bring in a beautiful charger by this young artist. I'm not sure if we had a video showing him at work in the foundry, so we're just going to show you this work of art. So first person to call in, Kim, if they want that original with the print, 1,700 plus the buyer's premium. Okay, we're going to move on with the show. Leave that one on the side there, John, and let's go to the charger. This is created on ceramic. It's an original earthenware charger with decoration in colours under glaze, hand signed, dated and numbered by the artist on the reverse. And ladies and gentlemen, he only made 20 of these for the entire world. I think this is absolutely exquisite. It is a ceramic plate, not a painting. It is a plate. It is quite heavy, quite heavy. We put it in a beautiful frame for you. John, so this comes framed, is that correct? That's correct. This comes framed. It is an artist proof, one of only 20. Now, typically, the plates, if they're done like this, we will have to add typically the frame at $400. Is that correct, John? That's correct. About $400 just to frame it. However, we're going to include the framing with this. It's artist proof, one of only 20 in the world by Pedro Ortiz Munoz. So it's signed on the back and with his name there, and also the artist proof number. That is beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this. I'm going to auction it like crazy. I'm going to give you a starting bid of only $500. So you know the frame costs about $400. So I'm starting it at $500. I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder. Ladies and gentlemen, it is lot number 12. The Inner Universe. I'll show you the certificate of authenticity for this one, and let's put up a 3-minute clock. Let's get some bidding going. 500 opening bid. Thank you. Original earthenware charger with decoration in colour underglaze, hand signed, dated and numbered. The Inner Universe is an original earthenware charger with decoration in colours, underglaze, hand signed, dated and numbered by the artist on the reverse. The example, we're including the framing, so ladies and gentlemen, you haven't got to pay extra for the framing. I've started this, if you like, Lucy, I've started that charger at merely about $100, if you think about it that way. So $400 just to frame it. We're including the framing. You haven't got to pay extra for the framing. I'll start the piece at $500. Ladies and gentlemen, it's underway. It's going to sell to the highest bidder. Here's Lucy.
I mean, these are definitely collector's works, aren't they, Richard? And I don't actually think you can get them anywhere else other than here with us. So, you know, this is your opportunity. If you are really collecting things that are different, you love ceramics, maybe you collected some of the Kef ceramics as well. You've got the fact that we have framed it too. It is a beautiful frame. And you've got this unique design by Pedro, and it is extremely rare because it's an artist proof, and traditionally those proofs are kept by the artist unless they decide they want to release them into the public domain. And if they do, that's what everybody wants because it's a smaller edition, and of course, you know, that's what makes it so desirable. You've got that intricate detail that he's known for, these fantastical, magical worlds. I think his work really lends itself to this medium. That ceramic work and this original earthenware is stunning, isn't it? Minimalist and at the same time really stunning. And I think you're going to look at this piece every single day and see something different. This is imaginary. You're never ever going to see anything like it anywhere else in the world. And I think when people come to your home or your family, you know, whoever it is, they're going to look at that and just be blown away. You've got the wizard in it as well. The balloons, you know, the workings of the mind. This will be a vision that he's had somewhere along the way, maybe in a dream, maybe, and I know he sort of had an out-of-body experience almost, but he got scared by that, so he sort of stopped that, but has managed to be able to recall some of those memories and bring them into his work. After that architectural degree, he then decided to search for his own style, and this is exactly where he's ended, and this is where he will stay. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you very much. At 850, I'm bid 850, and I'm selling now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's on sale with you. I'll give you one final minute with me, a fresh 1 minute clock, final call for bids. 850 bid, 850, come on, I'll take 9 now. 850 bid, 850. This is no money for this, ladies and gentlemen, at 850. It's on sale with you. You've got to bid now if you want it. Beautiful ceramic charger with a $400 frame on it. Well, it would cost you more to get it framed. It would probably cost you, I'd say, $800, $850 just to frame it like this with the back cut out so you can see all the signature, etc. It's in a lovely, lovely heavy frame. I'm doing my best to show you this one, ladies and gentlemen. That is a beautiful charger, beautifully done. Look at the plate. Look at the sheen on the plate there. It is fantastic. What a great, great image. $850, it's being given away at that level. Ladies and gentlemen, what a piece. Get on the phone now. Last chance, last call. beautiful. Lucy, your final thoughts. I'm about to drop the hammer on this magnificent, magnificent work. 9ers bid, best and final bids now, best and final bids, it's got to sell. Here's Lucy.
Well, my final thoughts are is that you're not going to be able to find this anywhere else. So I think if you have fallen in love with it, you need to get on those phones. I mean, I think we all know that works like this, if you go into a gallery, you're going to be looking at multiple thousands of dollars. This is so exclusive and so different, so unique. You know, this is an artist who really has built momentum, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. He's been going on television shows. You know, he is being talked about in the art world. And we know that as soon as an artist gets exposure, they just literally go stratospheric. And this will happen to this artist, and you'll be part of that story. You'll look back on this moment and you'll be thanking yourself, I can tell you, for getting on those phones now and making, really, well, taking advantage of this incredible opportunity, because it really is an opportunity to own something by a very exciting artist who has taken the art world by storm and creating these individual pieces, an artist proof, very collectible indeed. And I think this is just one of those works of art that's just going to sit proudly in your collection for many years to come. And every single day you will look at it and you'll spot something different. Remember, this is an imaginary world. He's taking you to a different place every single day, or every single time you look at it, and your eye gets drawn in. And that is the mark of a great artist. It's all about the composition. Over to you, Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm selling now. Best and final bids now. Take another 50 if it helps anyone. I'll take another 50. Round it up. Give me 1,000 if you really want it. If you really want it, go to 1,000. I'm selling now. It's on sale with you. Last chance, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Great to see you all. And thank you for joining us here. I'm on sale at 900. Give me a best and final bid now. Give me a best and final bid. Is there anyone else, yes or no, on the beautiful, beautiful Charger? 950 bid. 950. Thank you. 950 bid at 950. 950. Best and final bid now. Best and final bid. Is there anyone else, yes or no? Anyone else, yes or no? It's on sale with you. Only a few of these in the world. There are 20. Think about it this way. There are only 20 artist-proof examples in the world. You're about to snatch one of these from under our nose for less than $3,000. Less than 2,000. We're under one. We're under one. Come on, anyone else, yes or no? Best and final bids now. Best and final bid. I'm selling it. It's about to go. On sale and with you. On sale and with you. Going once, going twice. Sold and gone. Thank you very much. Sold and gone. Congratulations. Congratulate your bidder. Well done. I think there was just one more, but you've got to be quick. John will tell you what it's got to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I think there was just one more available. Let's bring in the print very, very quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to do this. If you don't take advantage of this offer, I can really, really see that we have an issue this morning, because what I'm about to do, John is already nervous. He's already gone off. He had to go to the bathroom for a moment. He's not feeling well, because he knows what I do when I do something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, this $3,000 print, get on the phone now. Get on the phone now. I only have 5 of these available. Is that correct, John? That's correct. 5 of them available. There were only 22 in the world. Let's show you the certificate of authenticity for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, do I have it there? Okay, I'll show you the certificate. I would get on the phone now. I'm going to give you a crazy price. Ladies and gentlemen, lot 13, I believe this is. It is Pedro Ortiz Munoz, called the Aranjuez. Aranjuez, that's easy for me to say. Original screen print in black ink. There were only 25 of them in the world. It is the largest print I've ever had. It's well over $3,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this. The first 5 people, then the edition is sold out. Get on the phone now, because if not, you're going to miss out. I'm going to bring it under 1,500. I'm going to bring it under 1,000. And because you've been a fantastic audience, I'm going to bring it under 500. First 5 people to call in, $450 plus the buyer's premium. It's gone. $450 on that beautiful large image. And let's circulate around the image, and I'll give you 2 minutes to call in. Here's Lucy. $450 plus the buyer's premium, Lucy. That is a wonderful gift for everyone. And look at this mystical, magical piece by none other than Pedro Ortiz Munoz with Lucy. Get on the phone. They're going to sell very quickly.
I'm not surprised John is feeling a little bit sick. He does get nervous, doesn't he, Richard, when you get into these moves? But ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to worry about that. All you need to do is get on those phones and make sure you take advantage of this, because there will come a day when this artist is selling for way much more and he won't be accessible, and really even with his screen prints. Now, original screen print, again, really interesting, because these works are created using screens, and anything that is used to create them is destroyed. And you can imagine with a work like this, as intricate as it is, it's a difficult process. I too love the way that we've used those deckled edges on the paper, because it does give it that luxury premium feel. These pieces, and his artistry really does invite us into a realm where the past intertwines with the fantastical, where every gear, rivet, balloon, and steam whistle is crafted with exceptional precision. Look at that cross hatching. I mean, I know we can't, or rather we shouldn't get so excited, but we do, because this is pure talent. The detail is exquisite. This is a modern day Rembrandt, a modern day Leonardo da Vinci. This is what we're talking about here. And at the same time, it's the 21st century. It does feel very modern. It feels really cool. It's that steampunk aesthetic, which is really popular as well. It's its own genre. So, ladies and gentlemen, where is it going to go? I think that's the question that remains. Go and measure up. You've got the measurements there at the bottom of the screen. Where will it go? Because $450, buy it now, is, I think, a remarkable price. That frame, I know you know how much framing costs. It's really expensive here, and I can only imagine how expensive it is over there as well. So $450 probably isn't even going to acquire you the frame. And in that frame, you have got an artist who is, I think, going to be one of those artists that everybody before long will want in their collection, because he's doing something different. This is not digitally created. This is created by him, from his imagination, just like Salvador Dali created from his imagination. This is an artist with considerable skill. This is an artist who really understands how to compose art and how to draw us in, and to really be able to show us exactly what a talent he is and what a talent he has. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a buy it now opportunity. You just need to get on those phones. We are a friendly bunch, so if you are brand new to the show, don't worry. Just do it. Over to you, Richard.
Well, later on, I think it's going to sell out any second now, but get on the phone if you want it. I'll do my best for you, but you have to call in now if you want that, the last two. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on with the show. Lot 13 that was, and coming up now is lot 14. Lot 14, something completely different for you. We have our star of the show this week. We're featuring these works by Nelson de la Nuez, ladies and gentlemen, brand new to the show, but not new to the art world. So world famous artists, these magnificent pieces, they really are wonderful. I love the way this is done, as if it's just been ripped out of a little A4 pad, ladies and gentlemen, but look at it, very clever the way that he's done that, ladies and gentlemen, but that is original painting, and they are by Nelson de la Nuez, the Cuban-American artist, and they're coming up as our final lot today. Ladies and gentlemen, before that we have a superb piece, and it doesn't get better than this. Let's zoom in on this image. I'd like to drop the graphics for a second, because I want you to enjoy this piece. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Rembrandt von Rijn, Christ crucified between two thieves. It is on an oval plate. It is the original etching. It was printed in black ink on woven paper. Now, the important thing for you to know is that this highly, highly valuable piece, and pieces are known to have sold in the region of 100,000. Is that correct, John? That's correct. Around 100,000 for this type of work. It is classified by the art experts as a good impression executed by Rembrandt, listen to this, in 1641. Now, obviously, in the Christian world, you don't get a much more powerful image than that. Would I be correct in saying that, John?
You would be correct.
This was created by Rembrandt in 1641, this actual piece. So it's amazing the type of work. We'll bring you a Colombian artist who's only 30 years old. He's not even 30 yet, so congratulations to you on that one. But this one was created by Rembrandt, who was born in 1606. Listen to the year he died, 1669. He created this piece in 1641. Ladies and gentlemen, pieces like this are known to sell in the region of $100,000. I'm going to give one lucky bidder the chance to acquire it under 50,000. Under 50,000. I'm looking for a minimum opening bid, really, of 30,000 on this piece, ladies and gentlemen. 30,000. However, I'm going to give everyone a chance to bid on it. I'm opening it at only $10,000 on the 1641 original Rembrandt. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to congratulate one of our lovely bidders, Diane from Florida. Thank you so much on your acquisition, and congratulations to you before we start the bidding on this historic 1641 Rembrandt. My opening bid is a mere $10,000. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the lovely Lucy to give you the auction facts, figures, and the fascinating story behind this piece from 1641. 10,000, Lucy, I am opening the bid on this amazing historic piece. Whoever gets it, look after it. Keep hold of the documentation, because if you brought that to my auction in London, remember I started in London in the 1980s as an auctioneer, the first thing I would ask you, is it authentic? So that's why these certificates are not just pretty pieces of paper and just throw it away in a drawer. Keep them. We'll always replace it for you free of charge on something like this, no problem at all. However, it's good to keep it. If you go and acquire yourself anything, whether it's a horse, a house, a painting, a motor car, a watch, diamonds, what, you need certification. Because if you try to bring this to an auction in the future, the one thing they look for is it authentic? How can you prove it? So, ladies and gentlemen, we've done all the research for you. Everything goes through the research department before it comes into auction. I'm expecting bids, Lucy, between 30 and 50,000 on this one. I'm opening it at only 10. But as you know, some pieces in this realm have sold in the region of 100,000 and over. So let's give everyone an opportunity to bid. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity on the 1641 original Rembrandt. And let's zoom in on the image as we go to Lucy. Thank you.
Wow. I mean, this really is a truly spectacular work, and somebody's going to be very lucky indeed to acquire this, because Rembrandt sits firmly within the category of old master blue chip artists and names that have been collected, studied and valued for centuries, not just decades. You know, 1641, you become the new custodian of this work, and I think everyone has to really let that sink in and understand what we're saying here. And the market for a Rembrandt is deep, it's well established, it's supported by major museums, academic institutions, long-standing private collectors, and lifetime etchings, which is exactly what we've got here, are very important because they were created by Rembrandt himself. Wow. Now, let's go to my screen and have a look at some auction results. So I have gone into ArtPrice here. It records all of the auction results from around the world for every single artist ever to have lived. And we've got originals here at 29 million, 26 million, 23 million, 16 million. Most, I would say, originals now are hanging in major art institutions, and they don't come up for auction. Then let's go to this page. I find this fascinating. So this is the front page of Rembrandt before you go into his auction results. Best-selling category will be print multiples, which is exactly what we've got for you. Primary marketplace is the United Kingdom, which I love about our show is the fact that you get access to works that really you'd have to go to United Kingdom for. World ranking, this is the bit I love. 52 in the world, and he passed away in 1669. Don't you think that's cool? Now, this is what we mean about a market that's deep and well established. You know, it's just one of those names that people want. And then we go to print multiples. So we're looking at that, and we've got auction results for etchings. 3.3 million, 2.9 million, 1.5 million, 1.4 million. Look at that. Christ crucified between two thieves, 1.4 million at Christie's in 2022. And then we have actually got those Christ crucified between two thieves, 1.4 million, 1.2 million, 1.3 million, 1.1 million. It's extraordinary. You know, so let's come back to our work and let's just talk a little bit more about it, because really what we have to understand, and what's really important for you to understand, is that Rembrandt isn't a speculative market. He's what we call a blue chip artist, meaning he's an artist whose markets are stable, they are global and historically resilient. You've just seen that. His work has been collected for centuries, and we're still seeing very strong results, as you've seen at auction today. He's number 62 in the world. I mean, and he passed away in the 17th century. It's absolutely amazing. So when you're buying and acquiring a lifetime Rembrandt etching, you're stepping into a market that's established, is global and incredibly well understood. And it's really not about whether Rembrandt matters, because he does. It's about whether you get an opportunity, and you are right now, to own a piece of that history. So what you're looking at here is a Rembrandt that was created in 1641, one of the most important years of his career. This was just prior to him creating that very famous work, The Night Watch. So he was right at his artistic power when everyone was commissioning him to do portraits, and he always did those on his own terms, didn't do what he was meant to do. He loved working with etchings because it gave him more freedom. He didn't have to do exactly what he was told when he was creating an etching. There's famous stories about him creating etchings in the time it took his servant to get him mustard from a neighbouring village when he went to someone's house for dinner and they didn't have any. So, you know, this is an artist who would walk around with prepared plates in his pocket so he could just whip it out and start creating. This is what I love about these works. These are definitely moments of history. These are pieces that are never going to be recreated again. This is a Rembrandt, and just remember where Rembrandt is hanging. He's hanging in some of the most prestigious galleries around the world. Let's go back to Richard.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and this magnificent 385-year-old Rembrandt. Let's go to your certificate of authenticity. Now, the most important thing with this, ladies and gentlemen, is what it says on this certificate. It is catalogue referenced. Where it says title there, Christ crucified between two thieves, is on an oval plate, catalogue referenced B.79. So from the catalogue reference 17, I thank you. Is that Hunter's bidder? Thank you, Hunter. Virginia, thank you. You're in the lead. It is the original Rembrandt etching. I'll say that again. This is an original Rembrandt etching, printed in black ink on woven paper. It is a good impression. So when they classify Rembrandt, if you brought this to me in London, I would say, is the classification a good impression or just an impression? When they classify it as a good impression, that means it is exactly what it says. It is a good impression taken from the copper plates in 1641. So the classification is a good impression. It's not just us using nice adjectives. Oh, it's a good impression. No. The proper classification for this Rembrandt is It's a good impression. I know it sounds strange to say that, but you need to know whether it's a good impression or just an impression. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is extremely rare. It is extremely important. Virginia, you're in the lead at on the 1641. 385-year-old Rembrandt. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm expecting bids on this between 30 and 50,000. Once again, I'd like to congratulate our bidder last weekend on that beautiful Bambi at 30,000. Give them a round of applause. John, they were from Texas, weren't they? Okay, well done, Texas, and I hope you enjoyed that free gift you got with it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, 17,000 is the bid only with Virginia. I'm going to give you a final 3 minutes, 3-minute clock. It is catalogue referenced. The image is superb. Can we drop the graphics? I just want to zoom in on this image and enjoy it by Rembrandt. Let's go in even closer. I want you to see the quality of this one. And however close we can get, let's just go in and look at this piece, because it is just something beautiful and historic. This should be in a museum. I can't believe we've got this. It's nearly 400 years old, created by the hands of Rembrandt in his studio in Amsterdam in 1641. It's unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, what more powerful piece can you get in the Christian world than this? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to sell. Let's give you a final 3 minutes, then 3-minute clock with Lucy. Lucy, is there anything else you can relay to us? 3-minute clock, please, graphics. Thank you. Here's Lucy.
I mean, there's so much, and 3 minutes isn't really enough. Let's go to my screen. So here is Rembrandt, that work at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So, you know, we know that he is obviously hanging there. Let's go back to our piece. The other thing really important to talk about is the fact that it's a reference work, and Bartsch 79, you know, collectors who collect old master prints immediately recognise that Bartsch catalogue reference, and it really does reinforce that this is a documented, established work within Rembrandt's celebrated oeuvre. And also what we're talking about here is that this is by Rembrandt. You know, he is one of the biggest names, and an opportunity to own a work by Rembrandt it's rare. You're not just looking at a reproduction. This is a work that was created by him himself, and to own a Rembrandt is to own a tangible piece of art history. And then the other thing we need to talk about is just himself. You know, he was an extraordinary character. He changed the way that art was viewed, the way printmaking was viewed. If we go to my screen and we just look at some of his portraits, you know, these are those very famous images, and the Night Watch just changed everything. And the work that you're bidding on right now was created 1 year before this. The Night Watch changed the history of painting because Rembrandt stopped painting people as they wanted to be seen and started painting them as part of a living, breathing story. He's in the Louvre. It does not get better than that. It's never going to change. Here we have an etching at 4.1 million. That was in 2025 at Christie's in London. Let's come back to our work. So now are you understanding? And the fact that you've got a deeply moving biblical scene depicting Christ at the moment of the crucifixion, that's what makes this piece so remarkable. But it's not the subject. It's the way Rembrandt has actually etched it. It's genius. They're, you know, through nothing more than an etched line and dramatic contrasts of light and shadow, he's created a sense of emotion, hasn't he? You know, humanity, spiritual power. Every mark has purpose, drawing your eye to Christ as the emotional and visual centre of the composition. He did that on a copper plate, ladies and gentlemen. He did that in 1641. That's what's so remarkable. You know, this print, if you put it into context, was created just 35 years after Shakespeare passed away. It's that close to history. And you're becoming the new custodian of one of the greatest names in the history of art. It's a beautiful example of a very clean work by him and a really good impression. It's referenced, it's got that Bartsch 79 reference, which is really important. An etching gave Rembrandt something very different, complete artistic freedom. And he didn't often do the religious scenes, but when he did, he really enjoyed them, because unlike commissioned portraits, that's what he was asked to do, and that's how he made his money. His etchings were usually created because he wanted to explore an idea, a biblical story, a landscape, or simply experiment. So ladies and gentlemen, that's what you're bidding on. Good luck to everyone. I wish you all the best of luck, and it's back to you, Richard.
Thank you very much. I have Hunter's bidder from Virginia, still in the lead at 19,000. 19,000 is bid. I'm about to sell. I'll give you one final minute with me on the 1641 beautiful Rembrandt, exquisite. Good impression by Rembrandt. That's the official catalogue classification of this piece. A good impression. Now, the low-end estimate was 30,000. How much? 19.5. Are you sure? I would go to 20,000, because the next bid after that would be $1,000 increments. Up to you, though. 19.5. If they come back in at 20, you have to go 21. So, up to you. I'll give you the choice. 20,000 with Hunter. 20,000 bid. As I said there, 20,000 now. We're in $1,000 increments. The low auction estimate was 30, high here 50, but in other auctions could be a lot more, ladies and gentlemen. 30 to 50,000. I thought it would make somewhere around 45, but we're very low. We're only at 20,000 on this piece now. On the 1641 Rembrandt. Selling and going to the highest bidder. Michael, last chance, last call. I'm selling now at 20,000. 20,000. Now, typically on a piece like this, I would have to get John to call the gallery in Europe to see if we can sell this. However, I have official clearance to sell it at this point at 20,000. We're at the lowest possible point. I was allowed to sell it at 20,000. It's on sale with you at 20,000. 20,000 bid. 20,000. They already gave us a minimum reserve. They're going to be very disappointed on this, but it will sell. It will sell at this level at 20,000. Going once. Are you in or not? 21, you're in. 21. From where? 21 bid. Ohio. Illinois, did you say? Illinois. 21 is bid. 21 with Illinois. At 21 I'm bid. 21. 22 with Hunter. Virginia in the lead. At 22. 22. The gallery, they will be disappointed, but it's your gain and their loss. At 22,000. At 22,000. 22,000. 22,000. Was the gallery in Germany, did you say, John? At 22,000. 22,000 bid. 22,000. They're in Germany, the gallery, yes or no? Yes. 22 bid, 22 bid, 22,000 bid, 22,000, 22,000 bid, 22,000 bid, 22,000. I normally have to phone the bid through on something like this and have them live on the phone, but they said, Richard, anything over 20,000, let's see what it makes. They thought it might make 35, 40,000 minimum, so they're going to be a bit disappointed, but I'm selling 23 bid, 23,000 bid. At 23, got a bid of 23. At 23 bid. At 23,000 on the 1641 Rembrandt. At 23,000. 23,000 bid. 23, 24 I've got. 24 is bid. 24,000 with Hunter. At 24,000 bid. At 24,000 bid with Hunter. At 24,000 it's on sale to the highest bidder. Are you bidding? At 24 I've got Hunter from Virginia. At 24, Michael, last chance, I'm selling. 25 is bid. 25 I have with Illinois. At 25 it's on sale. 26 I'm bid with Virginia. There can only be one winner on this magnificent Rembrandt at 26,000. 27, and your bidder is from? Texas, thank you. 27 is bid. Who's got 30? 27. 30 was the low estimate. 28 is bid. Who's going to be brave? Just go 2,000 more. 28 I have with Virginia. Go 2,000 more. 28 is bid. What would you like to bid next? I have Virginia, and I'm about, how much? 29 with Texas, thank you. 29 I'm bid with Texas, now 30. 29 with Texas. Low estimate bid. 29 is bid. 29,000 bid. 30,000 is bid. Low estimate bid, thank you. 30,000 bid. 30,000 on the low estimate. You're doing very, very well at 30,000 bid. Texas is out. Thank you for your bid, Texas. Illinois, last chance, sir. Last chance, Michael. 30,000 it's going with Virginia. Otherwise, up to you. I can't bid for you. 30,000 is bid. 30,000 on the Rembrandt. Last chance. We're at the low estimate on this one. Thank you so much. Would you take them as a backup bidder? Give both those underbidders a round of applause. But it is going to our wonderful bidder from Virginia. Look after this and look after it for the next generations. That is a historic piece. The hammer's high to Virginia. Sold 30,000. Thank you. Congratulations, well done to you. And ladies and gentlemen, we now have a spectacular moment. That was a spectacular moment, so congratulations, Virginia. But up next, John, I've got to tell you, a very, very proud moment to bring in this next artwork. Now, do we have a video, John, did you say? We have a video for this, and I'm so pleased. Ladies and gentlemen, this magnificent work here is by the great Nelson de la Nuez, and ladies and gentlemen, it's called Summer to Remember. And unfortunately, the cine film has broken, so we're going to, you can tell I've been around a long time, Lucy. The cine film is broken, so there is no video. We are going to offer this. I love this piece. I mean, what a fun work. It really takes you back to the sort of post-war era. Here's the young ladies on the beach here, looking beautiful, modestly dressed, just having fun, enjoying themselves. And wasn't the world, I think the world was a great place, you know, in the second half of the last century, ladies and gentlemen, after the war. And people were relieved to live their lives and have a great time. And this is a fantastic image. It is by Nelson de la Nuez. It's a hand-signed work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing collector's piece. It's our star piece today. How can you say it's a star piece after the Rembrandt, Richard? Well, this piece literally ought to be in a museum. He was born in 1959. This is quintessential Americana, and it's called Summer to Remember. I'm sure you all had those when you were at college, and before and after, hopefully. But ladies and gentlemen, what a great historic, absolutely beautiful piece of Americana. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start the bidding on this one. Incredibly low, really and truly, Lucy. I mean, I know his pieces make well over $40,000. There are books about this man, some amazing pieces, and I'm going to start this. I'm going to start it under 10,000 to just get the bidding going. I'll start it at a mere $5,000. There are many books written about Nelson de la Nuez. Here's one of them, ladies and gentlemen, with his quintessential Americana images, made in America. Did I hear a cork pop? Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a great image. But this is amazing. I'm giving you a chance to own it. I'll start it at only 5,000. Here is Lucy. Lucy, what a piece this is.
Love them. I'm so excited about this artist and so excited that we've actually managed to acquire these works and have been allowed to offer them to our audience, because what I need to tell everyone is you've probably seen this artist in Delta One lounges, whether you realize it or not. He is an artist who is internationally, globally recognized, you know, and he's been building up that reputation for many years. And to own an original by Nelson de la Nuez is really difficult because you have to go on a waiting list. And these works have arrived on the fine art auction because of the relationship that RVP has with this artist and has had for many years before he became globally recognized as this international art star, the king of pop art, basically. And, you know, we've stayed in touch, or he stayed in touch over the years. And now for our CNBC audience, we've decided to really give you exclusive access, because these works, these originals, have been created especially for you. Let's go to my screen. If you go to see if you can find an original by this artist, this is what you tend to find. Inquire. Now, remember what I said. This is really when an artist, the gallery owner, doesn't have those works and they're just waiting for an original to come in, and they will contact the people on the waiting list to tell them, yeah, we've got one. And immediately it's snapped up. So that is what you're going to get. He's huge. I can't stress that enough, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But here are some originals here. There's one for 125,000. There's another for 48,000. The work that we've got for you, these are big pieces. There's a lot going on. You know, let's come back to our work. It is a collage. You know, there is everything you would want to see in a Nelson de la Nuez. And I am very, very, very excited about these pieces. Now, let's talk about his artwork. And it's really coveted. It's collected by celebrities, CEOs, prestigious collectors worldwide. We've got Diane Warren, Kelly Clarkson, Harry Mandel, Jay Leno, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson actually was really the moment that everything became huge for Nelson de la Nuez, because he bought a few pieces of his works. He says, I'm the king of pop, you're the king of pop art, and it stuck. And that became his brand name, Billy Bob Thornton. He's sold in prestigious galleries internationally, all over the world. So galleries in Houston, Hong Kong, Miami. He's the biggest selling artist at Miami Basel, which is arguably one of the biggest art fairs in the world. And then Delta Airlines owns many pieces hanging in Delta One VIP lounges across the country. Kim Kardashian and Brian Lee, when they opened their Shadazzle company, they commissioned a piece by him. Hermes as well have commissioned works by him. Azul Airlines, JetBlue founder, Universal Music Group, 5-star hotels have his work. So what I'm trying to convey here is this is a big deal. And I hope I've done a good enough job. And we are excited to have him on the show. Let's go to my screen. He has been featured in all of these publications. That's huge as well, obviously, you know that. So that just sort of, again, shows you where he's been. And these are some of his commissions that he's done in some spectacular homes around the world. I just love to have a look at these and just how well his art sits in these magnificent interiors. And hopefully it's giving you some inspiration. Isn't it cool? Absolutely amazing. And then, oh, I've got some sound there. I didn't really mean to show you the sound, but I don't think I can turn it off. But there's the Delta One. I'll turn that one off. And then this was a really great interview that was done. And this again shows some of his wonderful commissions that he's created around the world. And I think the pieces that we've got for you this morning are very similar in size to these too. So definitely go and measure up. But this truly is an opportunity. Let's come back to our piece. So it was in 2009 when he first met Michael Jackson, and he was honestly in awe of my artwork, he says. Really loved it, bought 3 large pieces. He wanted to buy more, except there was so much chaos and turmoil with news crews chasing him that he had to leave. And he asked me about my art and the titles, and he declared in that soft yet notable voice that I was the king of pop art and he was a king of pop, which made him smile, and he seemed to like that, and I did as well. And faster than I knew it, there were headlines. So let's go over to Richard. Hopefully I'll have more opportunities to tell you a little bit more. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge opportunity for you. Back to you, Richard.
Well, Lucy, if you don't mind, in a moment, just to show us those gallery prices again. Very busy here in the studio. Lot 15, everyone would like to see it again. Nelson de la Nuez original mixed media painting on paper. This is an original mixed media painting on paper, signed by the artist on the lower right. A unique work. This, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, You will see these works in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. You'll see them in the Smithsonian Institute. These are true American collector's pieces. Now, there are star pieces to end the show. That would give you a clue after we just auctioned that $50,000 Rembrandt and it sold for $30,000 in the auction. Congratulations to our bidder from Virginia once again. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you very much. Well done to you. And there was active bidding there. You had two bidders, one from Texas and the other from Illinois, directly behind you all the way, but there could only be one winner. However, you know, if we ever get a Rembrandt or something like that, we'll let you know now, because our data team, if you're bidding on something like Rembrandt, etc., they'll always notify you and let you know if we have something else coming up in an auction in the near future. Is that correct, John? Yeah. Thank you very much. There we go. Nelson de la Nuez, congratulations to the data team. They do a wonderful job as well, looking after you and letting you know what's available. There we go. Nelson de la Nuez, Cuban-American artist, born in 1959. 7,000 is the top bid only at the moment. Someone to remember who's in the lead, please, John, on this piece. Original mixed media.
Woke up. Nice.
Now, I had a strange feeling it would be a California bidder. I can normally guess what you're going to bid, but I can also guess the states as well. And I can see this being in a California home amongst many others. Original mixed media painting on paper. It is hand signed by the artist on the lower right. Unique work, 7,000. California in the lead? 85, thank you. And where are they from, Kim? Wow, California as well. Thank you. 85. I said this should be in a California home. I can really see that, ladies and gentlemen. This looks like really, you know, the Hollywood era. The Hollywood era here. All of these fantastic images. You've got Hawaii featured up here. Hawaii of the Hawaiian group. Great, great images. I can see it as a quintessential 1950s. Early 1960s, very early 60s, but what a great image. I love it. Miami Beach up here. Come on, where's our Florida bidders? Zoom in there. Miami Beach featured on this one. And ladies and gentlemen, I just love this piece, John. And Lucy, let's go back to you for our gallery estimates for this piece, if you can find one.
Yeah, exactly, Richard. If you can find one. And I think what everyone needs to understand is that these works were done exclusively for us. And it is on the strength of who we are within the art world, you know, the fact that we have managed to nurture these relationships. And this is, I think, a golden opportunity for someone to own a work by this incredible artist. There's waiting lists for his originals. Again, you know, try and sort of let that one sort of seek in, and you've got an opportunity to own a work that was created exclusively for you. Let's go to my screen. 125,000 there for an original, another one there at 48,000. I think the one on the right is very similar to the piece that we've got. And honestly, this is what you are going to find. People don't have them. Gallery owners don't have them. That's the thing. You know, there are waiting lists. He's a very popular artist. This is what everybody wants. And if we go back to our piece, if I take you over back to his Instagram, you know, let's go to my screen. Here we have another spread on him in Palm Beach Magazine. And of course, that just gives an artist more and more exposure. People reading those magazines, they're like, right, I want a work by Nelson de la Nuez in my home, and they'll go out and try and acquire one, and not going to be very successful, but you will be, because you're bidding right here, right now. And he talks a lot in his comments, you know, I've got waiting lists for these. It's just wonderful. Go and look him up and you'll see what I'm saying is true. Let's come back to our piece. The other thing I think is fabulous is the fact that he's known around the world as the king of pop art. He creates these really vibrant, witty works, and they're blurring the line between fine art, fashion, wealth, celebrity. Some of his collectors, I think I've already mentioned those, but he's got a pretty impressive list of famous collectors. You'll become one of those collectors, which is always nice, isn't it? Sarah Jessica Parker, Kelly Clarkson, Harry Mandel. You've got the Michael Jackson connection as well. He's regularly exhibited at Art Basel Miami, in Hong Kong too, Scope Miami Beach, Hamptons Fine Art Fair. His work is celebrating success, aspiration, modern luxury, but always with this sense of humour and this feeling of nostalgia. And if you look closely, and I'm sure that if we sort of zoom in, you will see the lustre of the hand painting, of course, because it's an original work of art. Over to you, Richard.
Okay, I have California in the lead at 10.5. 10.5 is the bid. California is the top bidder with our lovely Roxy. Roxy's been with the show for years. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you very much, all her hard work. And ladies and gentlemen, 10.5 is bid. 10.5, get a bit of 10.5 with Roxy's bidder from California. Now I put the low estimate from the gallery was $20,000. They were hoping for $30,000 to $35,000. It's on sale. I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder regardless. We'll have to negotiate with them afterwards, John, if we want any more works. But at 10.5, 10.5 is bid. Thank you for our gallery in who entered this. They're a very prestigious gallery. Thank you very much. 10.5 is bid. 10.5, get a bit of 10.5, 10.5 bid. At 10.5 with California. At 10.5, at 10.5, 10.5. They were hoping for $30,000 to $35,000 on this one, but I'm selling it to the highest bidder now at 10.5. Get a bit of 10.5, 10.5 only, 10.5 only, 10.5. Is that it? Are we done? At 10.5, where's our other California bidder? At 10.5, I'm selling. Final chance, final call. I'll give you 30 seconds. Fair warning at 10.5 only. 10.5 only on the beautiful, beautiful work of Nelson de la Nuez. At 10.5, the museum artist. At 10.5, this is Americana Supreme. At 10.5, get a bit of 10.5 going once. 10.5 going twice. 10.5 on sale. That is unbelievable. John, I don't think they'll be sending us many more works at that money. At 10.5, third on the vinyl time. The gavel's high, the gavel's high. So, California gets it. Well done. Thank you very much. John, let's bring in the next work, also by Nelson de la Nuez. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got to be fairly rapid on the next piece. However, again, I'll start it very, very low for you. Again, auction estimate, $20,000 to $30,000 on this one. I'll start it at less than half of what the other one made. I'll start it at only $5,000. Get your bids in now, and I'm going to give you a 3-minute clock when it comes back. $5,000 is the opening bid on this magnificent original mixed media painting on paper, signed by the artist Nelson de la Nuez, and ladies and gentlemen, executed in 2025. I love this. Who's ever heard this before? Oh, you shouldn't have, but I'm so glad you did. There's her present. Ladies and gentlemen, wonderful piece. Look at the way he's done it. Very clever, that. He's made it all by hand, obviously. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an amazing piece. It starts at $5,000. Again, the auction estimate, $20,000 to $30,000 on this one. And get your bids in now. $20,000 to $30,000 auction estimate. Leave it there. And let's get on with the auction. And here is a great video for you. And then Lucy.
Nelson de la Nuez is a Cuban-born contemporary pop artist who grew up in California, surrounded by the imagery that would later become the language of his work. Advertising, comic books, board games, classic Hollywood, luxury brands, and the promise of the American dream. Known to collectors as the king of pop art, de la Nuez builds bold mixed media works that feel glamorous at first glance. But look closer, and there is a sharper idea underneath. Champagne bottles, designer logos, dollar signs, yachts, superheroes, movie icons, and headlines become symbols in a larger story about wealth, fame, ambition, and desire. He first gained recognition in the 1980s with a pop art style that combined familiar commercial imagery with wit, color, and social commentary. His work is playful, but it is not empty. It asks why certain images become powerful, why luxury is so seductive, and how pop culture shapes the way we see ourselves. Over the course of his career, Delanuez has exhibited internationally and appeared in major art fairs and galleries, including Art Basel Miami, Art Central Hong Kong, Context, and Art Market Hamptons. His work is held in private and corporate collections, including Delta Airlines Delta One and Sky Club lounges. He has also created commissioned or collaborative projects connected to brands and cultural icons, including Warner Brothers' 75th anniversary celebration of The Wizard of Oz, and a series of watches with Swiss watchmaker Korn. What makes Nelson Delanuez stand out is the combination of luxury, humor, nostalgia, and critique. His art celebrates the surface dazzle of modern life while quietly questioning it. The result is work that is instantly recognizable, accessible, and deeply tied to the culture of now. Today, Nelson Delanuez continues to expand the vocabulary of contemporary pop art, turning the images of success, fantasy, and fame into bright, provocative reflections of the world we live in.
See, you know, I mean, this is just such a huge opportunity, and oh, you shouldn't have, but I'm so glad you did. Who hasn't ever said that? You know, this is what he does. He just really just wants to have fun. He said it's all about not taking life too seriously, but also showing a bit of who you are on your walls. And it does truly resonate with people. Everybody wants a work by him because of this. And it reflects your personality, what you're passionate about. So surround yourself, as we always say here, with the art that makes statements you love. And whether that's through the images, the text, or the actual, what the piece is depicting, whatever that might be, this is what he does and does so well. Again, you've got a lot going on here, lots of nods to different artists, I think, too. He is really bridging this gap almost between the days of Lichtenstein and Warhol, bringing it into the 21st century in his own unique way. That's what everybody is loving about him. And I think also, you know, like Lichtenstein had that bold graphic punch and Warhol had the fascination with brands, wealth and consumer culture. So of course, this is this 21st century version by an artist who really has blown up the art scene for the last 20 years. And you now have an opportunity to own an exclusive original work by that artist. I too wanted to show you, I mean, if we go to my screen again and we look at some of the publications that he's been in, House Beautiful, Major Deal, you know, View, like lots and lots of big names. High profile. This is what he is. He's high profile. Let's go back to Richard and let's see what's happening over there. Over to you.
8.5 is bid. 8.5 is bid. Did you say New York on this one, John? 8.5. New York. New York, you're in the lead. 8.5. 8.5 is bid. Nelson Delanuez. I'm about to sell this, ladies and gentlemen. So when the clock ends, the hammer's coming down. Let's go to the certificate of authenticity. 20 to 30,000. They were hoping for 30 to 35,000, in all honesty, but we're going to sell it anyway. It will go to the highest bidder. 8,005. I've got to go because the end of the show now. 8.5. You shouldn't have is the title. It is the original mixed media painting on paper, signed by the artist on the lower right, a unique work executed by Delanuez in 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to Lucy. Lucy, remind us, what do these sell for? We had an auction estimate from the gallery, 20 to 30,000. That's what they wanted. We're under 10. I'm selling it. Here's Lucy. Let's go.
Let's go straight to my screen and we'll answer that question. That's if you can find them. Remember, these aren't just originals by an internationally recognised artist. They're originals created especially for us, especially for the CNBC audience, to be honest with you. So made possible because of the relationship that has been built over many years. And that's a very special opportunity indeed. But if you were to be able to find one, you would, or you went on a wait list, you would spend between 48 to 125,000 and maybe upwards of that. Difficult to find, as I have previously mentioned, if we come back to our work. So to me, I think you should be thinking to yourself, do I love this work? If the answer is yes, then get on those phones. The fact it's an original, it's an exclusive original, is a huge factor. And it is one of those works of art that is so current at the moment. He is one of those artists that everybody wants to work with. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you. 8,750. I have Texas in the lead. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you 1 minute with me. 1 minute with me only. I've got to move on. It's near the end of the show now. 8,750 Texas. If you get this under 20,000, you've absolutely stolen it. If you get it under 20,000, you've absolutely stolen it. 20 to 30 was the estimate. We thought it might make 35. Judging a lot of his paintings sell over 100,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm selling now. 8,750, take 9. 8,750, take 9. Last chance, last call. It's on sale with you. Last chance, last call on this historic artist. Ladies and gentlemen, going once. It is about to sell. It is about to sell. The show ends in 2 minutes. I'm being quick now. 8,750. I think you're lucky this one, Texas. 8,750. No one else? You're sure? Sold and gone. 8,750. They will be disappointed, John. I hope we get more of these, but at these prices, I don't think we could be lucky. However, I've got an opportunity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to be very quick. Get the number now. Get the number now. This is a limited edition by Delanuez. I love this. Baby needs a Birkin. There's the famous Birkin bags. Women, or not, well, people pay. I don't want to say men pay, but people pay thousands and thousands for these handbags. They're unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do it for you. John, is this fair? I'm going to bring it under 3,000. I'm going to bring it under 2,000. I'm going to bring it under 1,000. I've got 4 of them available. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Let's just double check. Let's just double check. Only 4 available. I'm going to do them at 750. 750 plus a buyer's premium. Call in now, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a minute left of the show. Get on the phone. I've got 4 available. It's a buy it now. That is a great image, beautifully framed. Here's Lucy to say goodbye for 30 seconds, and then back to me. 750. First 4 people, Kim. 750. They're sold. What a great piece. I bet, Lucy, you'd love this one.
Good. I mean, this is what he does. His work celebrates success, aspiration, doesn't it? And wealth and luxury, you know, but with humour. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could tell you a little bit more about this, but we haven't got time. So I have to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Over to you, Richard. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much, Lucy. See you tomorrow morning, my dear. Ladies and gentlemen, so it's the last piece. We've got about 20 seconds left. 866-518-5933. Get on the phone now. It's a beautiful piece. Look at the framing on that. It's superb. It's a great, great image. I've done it for only $750. Just as a gift to say thank you. Congratulations to Texas. Thank you to Virginia. Thank you to all our bidders from all over, from Florida as well with Diane. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Tomorrow morning, 7:50. Get on the phone.